And we're live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Fans of Power podcast. As always, the usual suspects are here this evening. We have the first Princess of Power, First Lady of Power here, Miss Newt there, and our local Kurt Cobain lookalike there, Nasty Nick Kennedy. Hey, you look like Kurt Cobain this evening, don't you?
Great. Great.
And of course, we have Motu Joe, the real American cheapo. Wouldn't we also have a cartoon series like playing off of like G.I. Joe, but it's all like Joe just trying to steal food. Like he'll fight for free food wherever it's there. Motu Joe is there.
That would be good.
That'd be awesome.
Rebecca didn't get the memo. Hair all over the place. We're all wearing green. We didn't plan that out. It's not St. Patrick's Day or anything.
He's wearing green.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so that works.
He's wearing green. Wait, where is it at? Quick, something right there. Quick little preview of something. Just a little sample. It's gonna be hard for people to see unless they zoom in. But I won't even mention the character.
Joe. What the hell are you talking about?
For fuck's sake, never mind. All right.
No. Let them know. I can see it. Let them know what it is.
We'll see. I want to see if anybody can get it in the chat, though. That's what I want to see first. If anybody can get an idea.
I'm sure somebody would because you already posted about it.
Joe's always going to play
Facebook.
puzzles with everybody. He's a Riddler.
You know what? Now I'm just gonna put the Fans Power logo back over it. So you got a sneak peek. Now it's hidden forever. Joe, I appreciate you putting that Orko that you didn't give two fucks about last week.
Thanks,
I'm glad
man.
that you got that on the shelf.
Have you guys seen this? You seen this, Rick? This is about the best Orko they've ever made in history. I can't believe how awesome.
Don't do that.
This is all right. Yeah, no, but thanks. It is cool. But thanks. You know what's funny
is your orgasms.
I don't think Joe has ever faked an orgasm.
Yeah, I don't know. He carries on like he's an Adonis. All those flowers he deflowered there. I'm sure Joe was like, enough's enough. I just want to get some sleep.
I love that when Frank Drebin said that, by the way. I faked every orgasm.
I'm sure Joe would say that when he's like, walking out of a back alley with the latest girl. He's,
Well,
gave her the backdoor doodle.
Speaking of this, and doodling and everything, some good news to start off this week's show. Joe has found the love of his life, and her name is Stephanie, and she likes to cook lasagnas in the dishwasher. Joe, can you tell us a little more about Stephanie? I just learned about this a couple hours ago. I don't know if he told you guys or not. He's thinking about marriage. Sorry, Joe, I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
Yeah. This was brought to my attention by Grim in the chat room. He was like, Joe, I think I found somebody that's your perfect match. And I clicked on this link to YouTube, and it's this girl that it's like Extreme Cheapskates or something. And
on TLC, by the way.
At TLC. First, I was like, okay, I'm with her. Like, watch how you use the water. Watch, your electricity. Like, when she was going to the store. Hold on. Let me get to it. So she was going to buy, like, some meat or some ground beef to make for, like, I guess some kind of, like, football party or something for her husband or something, which she doesn't like ever getting extra stuff. But she was like, what can I do that's the cheapest? And she asked the butcher for like a big cube of fat and how much that would be. And it was like, I don't know, $2. It was a giant cube that she cut, and 80% of the meat mix was fat and the other 20% was meat. So I was like, I would have fried the meat up. But then she started doing things like reusing all the water. Every time she boils water, she keeps it and reuses it. If the family's sitting there eating and they don't finish all their food and their sauce, she puts all the sauce back into a jar and reuses. Yeah, she baked lasagna in the dishwasher.
Because the dishwasher is 125 degrees, and you can bake a lasagna in an hour and a half in the dishwasher. And then she's like, hey everybody, we're eating this because it's at the football party.
Does she not have an oven?
No, she does, but she's just cheap because that would use electricity.
But using a dishwasher, like,
but you're multitasking. Yeah, you're multitasking because you wash your dishes and you're also cooking dinner at the same time. So she's feeding it to them, and they're like,
it's not being filled up with Cascade inside the.
She covers it in foil.
Yeah,
she's like, you got to make sure you cover it up, otherwise the water will get in there. And she's feeding it to the people, and they're like, yeah, this tastes like water. And I'm just like, Jesus. And
disgusting.
Joe also left out that to save electricity, she has one light bulb that she takes and moves from one room to the other, whatever room she's in.
And they gotta light a candle to go to
Go
other
to the
rooms.
bathroom.
And,
Yeah. But but the candle is like in like a can of corn or something.
Now that I could see Joe.
Joe
doing.
needs to
walking
be
around
on this
in, like, his
show.
bedroom
We need to call
hats,
TLC.
You know, in his robe, like Ebenezer Scrooge at night. You know.
Oh shit! I loved it. I was like, yeah, so, like she's pretty hot. But yeah, I was like,
Tyler, if you think about it real hard. What we just said, yeah, she's cheap, but also just think about Joe's type, and you'll be like, oh, okay. You don't have to say anything, but just think real hard, and you're like, you'll put two and two together.
She was a nice body, everything. I mean, I was like, good God, I was like, that's
Joe,
pretty cool.
Joe, are you telling me you have a high standard for your femme fatales?
I mean, shit, man, lasagna in a dishwasher. I mean,
Joe always kind of makes you feel like he doesn't give a fuck what she looks like as long as she can cook, and cook on a budget. You know, he'll throw down with her, roll around with her in the hay no matter what, ride her like Seattle Slew, doesn't matter. As long as she can get up and fix him a can of cream corn, and Joe doesn't have to put much effort.
That got me excited. Like, I was ready for that. I was like, I could live with the lasagna being lukewarm. They said it tasted real watery, but what the hell? I mean, still saving money. I mean, she was really good at...
I want to... This is actually the perfect segue, because if I was going to do the intro this week, I was going to say, and the man who doesn't round up to the nearest dollar for a good cause, Joe Amato.
Well,
this guy, they asked him, and how dare they? They asked Joe if he would like to round up 32 cents to the nearest dollar, and of course he said no.
Well, let me finish. I went to
Joe, just before you try to defend yourself, why did you feel the need to tell Nathan that you did this?
Because it got me pissed. I was like,
no, he was hot. He was mad.
Yeah,
he was mad about
that. I feel like, Joe,
I was like, I gotta tell somebody.
Expect to get no. You do expect to get wedgied on this podcast even more so. Do you ever wonder why we do it? When you go out of your way to tell us this shit?
It was $2.68 at Taco Bell, and they said, "Would you like to round up?" And she said, "Would you like to round up to $3?" I was like, "No." And then I was thinking, here's the thing. I was like, first, I don't know
what
this
was
foundation.
The cause, though? What was the cause?
It was some kind of scholarship fund. I was like, first, I don't know if this is a real scholarship fund. Two, how do they know I don't have exact change? And three, it's like, that 32 cents I can use for extra toppings next time I go, or I can add that to more money.
Not this time.
Go get some dollars. Go to Dollar Tree. I was like, 32 cents? They think people are rich? I was like, 32 cents? Maybe it was 2 cents.
People are rich.
I'm
saying. I can see Joe like scamming like the Ronald McDonald House.
That's a lot of money, 32 cents. You people are insane. This is it.
That is not a lot of money, Joe.
32 cents. 30. Wait, no. And then you told me about the other time that they had the gall to be like, "Would you like to round up the 87 cents?" And you're like, 87 cents? That's almost $1.
It is. That's what I mean. With a whole dollar, you could get something else for a whole dollar. It's like, you want this rounded up 87 more cents? Are you
Joe,
people
how
mad?
You get a job?
I'm not cheap. I'm just.
If anybody in the chat, really quick, can get me the number for the producers for TLC that do this cheapskate show, just put it. We'll give them a call. We'd be like, hey, we got the perfect guy for you.
This guy could be like 8 o'clock prime time on Thursday night. Like they could
make a series
right before American Horror.
They could make
that shit.
It would be a thing. He would appear, and since Joe claims that he's so charismatic and so endearing to everybody, all these hot topic girls and grocery store cashiers and whatnot,
and their free guitar picks and shit.
Yeah, that he can reach the masses, and everybody in the chat room would go and be like, yeah, and then he'd go viral, and then he'd get his own series, and then he'd be like, I can't do the show anymore, guys. I'm just really busy.
He bows out like Dave Chappelle. He just loses it. He goes back to the homeland of South Africa there, Joe, and
I don't think I'd want to be rich. Could you imagine? I'd be a whole different person. I think I'm good with like being just.
No, you would. You'd still be a cheap bastard.
Yeah. You can't fix that.
Too.
I mean, they can't come to you and like, Joe, no, these people want you to donate to them. Oh.
He would still be like 30-some cents. I can't do that, but it's for St. Jude. No, I'm sorry. What a monster.
Well, that's how you steal.
Or we sound like the little kid from like the Shriners commercial to go talk to Joe, and Joe like kicked. We still like Joe kicking like this little small dummy out the door, and it's like a little Shriners kid. And he flung out, or like Ben Stiller, like a Tropic Thunder, throwing the kid off his back. There's Joe.
Yeah.
With a little Shriners kid.
Johnny Cock already said, would Joe show his face on TLC? No, that would be the beauty of it, because they would just blur his face.
Yeah, it's still
Block it
has
out.
the
Yeah.
same.
They would save on makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to get him ready for camera. He just
And they
wears
would-
a cheap ass mask and.
They would give him the
Does
voice
TLC do that?
modulator, too.
Did they blur out people's faces?
I think they do. I think they.
No,
yeah.
I think they do.
Yep. Oh
Now,
shit!
would you,
Well, let me.
Joe, would you do like crossovers with like my 500-pound life and all that stuff too?
Oh God.
What's that?
Yeah, he would.
Who?
I can see Joe doing. It's like, hey, you got anything good to eat in here? And then they're like get into a big fight with each other, because Joe's trying to, fight over that last,
You said it was a
Like
500-pound
brownie mix.
wife.
Yeah,
What's
no, yeah.
500-pound
There's like my 500-pound life. There's a series about these two sisters that are extremely
God.
obese.
Oh no!
Joe could mingle and create a TLC multiverse. I could see that.
Let me.
Yeah,
Let me quickly.
Joe is like the Iron Man of the TLC universe. He just shows up in all the
Shows up on Hoarders, and he's like, "Hey man,
Yeah.
what you got over there?"
Yeah.
Was the
good.
other in the 90 Day Fiance?
Yeah.
Oh my
He
God.
pops up on that. I'm telling,
That'd be
like,
cool,
what a
the
missed
Hoarders.
opportunity.
You're gonna
Like,
throw that away? You guys are throwing that away? No, I'll take that.
I know he shows up
Come
at the
in there and
wedding
take
for
your
the free.
shit.
You just see Joe in the background. They pull him for like one of those random interview segments.
Wait
Yeah.
a second. I can picture they load up all the shit that they're gonna take to the dumpster on Hoarders, and then you see me jack that guy, steal the truck, drive off with all that shit. Like, it's all mine. That's fucking terrible.
I imagine, Joe, have you ever taken a ship to somebody from behind there and took something from? Is that how you stole pencils in school?
No, I just bumped them as we would walk. I'd bump into them and take it out of their back pocket. But
You're not
back
taking like
2 days later.
like one of your handmade shivs and like stabbing them multiple times in the lung.
I'd give
Like
it to
Jason
him 2 days
Momoa.
later. I swear I would. 2 days later, I give it back to him. But quickly, let me say hello to the chat. We got JSP, Pride of Grayskull, Febmon, Chris Carter, Runs Houston. Say it, Nathan.
I did earlier. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah, where were you, Nate?
Did
Where
you
were
do it with
Joe?
emphasis? Did you do it with emphasis, Tom?
We all heard it. Where we?
Where were you, Joe?
Okay.
He's too busy thinking about Stephanie.
Johnny
Yep,
Cock,
that's
Brian
me.
Brummage,
On his mind.
Gamer Bud, Anthony Albanese, Zentron. Bud's here. Thanks for joining us, Bud. He said he'd pop in. I guess he did. I'm scrolling down some more. MC DJ is here. Rebel Wookie. Good Lord, there was so much shit going on. Jeff Morris. Grimbot. I'm trying. Adam Gabbard. Joseph K. I'm trying. It just there was so much shit. Eric Sanchez. El Tender's
Reading is
channel.
hard.
Yeah, you know me. I like looking at pretty pictures. I hate reading. Paulrick is here. Look at I said his name right. I didn't say peanut butter and jelly. Spider Rat. And Pophood 69 popped in. He came in late, and there I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
Toki Death Nuts.
I realized over the past weekend that why Joe doesn't like Daniel and Karate Kid Part 3 so much.
Why is
Because
that?
he acts just like Joe. People say that Ralph Macchio is really spastic in Part 3.
I was noticing that. I was just watching that today.
Yeah, and I was watching it on 4K HD.
Oh,
And
Tyler got to brag about his new TV and his new his
I
new
was watching
digital
Karate
format.
Kid Part 3 this weekend, and I'm like, I can see why Joe doesn't like Ralph, because he acts just like Joe. Like, he's constantly spazzing around, moving around, like he's all coked up and stuff, and Joe just doesn't like seeing himself. He's like misrepresented as an Italian-American actor, right, Joe?
Uh-huh.
I really like Karate Kid 3.
Yeah!
Good.
Damn right she
You
does.
should.
I wanted to know why you didn't like it, Joe, because I can't figure out what you didn't like about it.
I'll come into a future episode. I'll do that. I'll be
No,
calm.
she's calling you right now.
Yeah. Come on, Joe. You
answer
can
her.
briefly give.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go for
Go
it.
into it.
I hated how he acted in Part 3. Not only just how he's just so disrespectful to fucking Mr. Miyagi, but his just acting just seemed over the top fucking annoying. I couldn't stand it. I just hated him. I hated him. That's pretty much all I can say for now because I'll go into a bigger rant later. But
That's
I
all
just
you
hate
don't
it.
like about the movie?
That's it.
Oh, the movie? No, and I
But he
fucking
was
like I
being
said.
manipulated. Like, he was good. He didn't start acting up until, like, halfway through the movie.
He treated
after
Mr.
he was
Miyagi
being
like shit. Ooh,
manipulated.
that pissed
Really,
me off. Oh, it
look,
pissed me
I
off
will
how he
say
did that
this,
to Mr. Miyagi. I couldn't stand it.
Miyagi's
Oh,
methods don't work the way Miyagi thought they would. Like just being calm, avoiding conflict because these guys are going to harass the hell. Like his approach doesn't work, in the film, which
and he
expands
realized that.
the breakdown between the two of them. Why Daniel is so frustrated with it because he's not doing anything about it because he thinks his methods are going to just solve the problem, and they don't.
Fucked up his bonsai tree too. Pissed me off. Boy, he fucked over Miyagi so many times. I want to choke the shit out of that fucker. I couldn't stand him in that goddamn movie. And it's dramatic win at the end. Holy shit. But whatever. All right. So,
Joe just likes to. Joe, if you could just give us one legitimate reason. Can you believe all those goofs that were agreeing with Joe on our Cobra Kai episode? Even your lover boy John was agreeing with Joe. What the hell is that shit? I want you to give him a stern talking to when you get off the podcast tonight. Tell him I sent you.
I didn't see that comment.
I don't know.
But yeah, he told me. He told me, he's like, I agree with
Joe's
Joe.
ass.
Yeah, but he agreed with me too on certain aspects.
I guess I didn't read that part. I was waiting for the part where he agreed with me.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I know. I
was like, somebody's agreeing with Joe. This world's coming to a fucking end.
But they were all like, "Oh, Joe, you're so right." Following his balls there.
But I mean,
I liked Karate Kid 3. I liked it just as much as the other films, and
it's like fucking A.
It he had a story arc in it. Like there was, everything was great. They were building the shop, and then comes these assholes just harassing him, threatening his girlfriend, and breaking his fucking tree, and it's like
the Miyagi methods don't
work. He's frustrated. Yeah, he's frustrated, and then he goes back. He finds that peace again at the end.
And the villains are wonderful in the film too.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of gives him just some character building. If it was more like how he was in part 1 and part 2, then it would just sort of be more of the same. So
it kind of gives an opportunity to branch off on his own because Miyagi's like, no, we're not doing this. We're going to be calm, and because Miyagi's not actually being forced to deal with it.
Yeah.
Outside of minor theft, even that he doesn't think of it as a big deal. Daniel's the one stuck dealing with the problem.
And he had to learn the hard way with Terry Silver kind of manipulating him and treating him like he's thinking that he's learning more, but Terry's just fucking with him. So, yeah. Whatever. If people want to agree with Joe on that, that's fine. I would
rewatch it though.
I would stand
before
by.
You agree with Joe, rewatch it.
I would stand by if I were to rank them. It would just go in order. First one's the best, then part 2, then part 3. But they're all good, but I would still rank them that way.
I would put 1, 3, and 2, and I like 2 a lot, but 3 I think is a more superior film in that regard.
Hey, John in the chat rooms from Simple Trick says, and at no time did they just call the cops. We won't say that, John. You don't want to get him mad.
No. Daniel does go to the. He does go, and they laugh at. They explain that on their way to get the bonsai tree that the police officers laughed him out of the department. Said, "Well, we'll look into it, buddy." So that pretty much nixed that idea.
There you go, Joe.
Joe, if you
take a couple of those and call us later.
What do you mean? That was John that said it. Why don't you guys flip him off? Rebecca, go yell at him.
No, this all with your wife instead of trying to figure out something nice to say to Joe.
Well, that's the thing. They just dismissed it like the cops dismissed it like that. It's like, I'd still go back. Like, you go back again, you tell them again one more time. It's like, you guys got to go back.
Even talk over Joe like I'm doing right now. If I don't do it right now, I'll never get it in because Joe's going to cut off all of us at some point.
I'm kind of curious when people listen to this, because I'll just go ahead and jump in too. Rebecca, feel free to just start talking. We'll all just start talking and just make it miserable for everyone that's listening to the audio at home.
He's just laughing at that. It's like it didn't make any sense.
So Joe didn't even get the joke. He's just he just keeps going
because he's fixated on Stephanie and her dishwasher lasagna.
I did notice that Danny was more spastic in this one.
I think that's what I think Tyler's onto something there. I think Joe just doesn't. He feels misrepresented. He's like, I don't do that.
And I don't like macaroni and cheese either. Why is he so fixated on macaroni and cheese in this movie here? He's not eating authentic American Italiano with a spaghetti meatball.
From a dishwasher, like it's intended to be.
Because they do come from a slightly, less rich background. Does Danielson not, Joe? Does he not come from the wrong side of the tracks from Reseda?
calling us poor? You calling us poor? Is that what you doing? We both poor? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no,
Is that
Joe.
what you're
I'm just
saying?
saying. I figured you would sympathize with people who can't afford a quality meal.
And who also would not round up 30 to 85 cents on their meal.
There you go.
Extra sour cream for that next go around to Taco Bell. We don't know when that's going to be.
Right. See.
Well, I think we can all say
Popeyes tried to
it's safe to say Joe would not spend a college fund to buy Mr. Miyagi his own bonsai shop. He would pocket that money and try to purchase stock in Bojangles or Popeyes or whatever the fuck.
Popeye tried to screw me, Nathan. Just one more quick one before we get started on the topic. Popeye tried to screw me. I had $15 left on that card.
Like the Sailor Man or the restaurant?
Check this out. So I had $15 left on that card.
He doesn't know who that is.
You think he would, because that's one of those older cartoons, and I know Joe was already in his 40s when that came out, but
Joe relates to stymie. I will gladly pay you on Tuesday because the guy who eats all the hamburgers and shit, and bums it and never pays for a damn thing. That's the character Joe really related to, right, Joe?
Well, I mean, if it's free food, and I'll have a way of paying.
He has no idea who we're talking about.
I do. He always had no burgers. He had the hat, remember, and the mustache. I remember that guy. Anyway, I went to Popeye.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. I was like, how many fucking times am I going to try to tell this goddamn story? So I went there with $15 left on that card. $15 left on that card. On the front of their marquee, it said they're finally open on the inside again. I was like,
gripping stories on the way here, people.
So I don't have to fucking go through the drive-thru. Then I go up, I get ready to go inside.
Wait, hang on. What?
Do you walk through the drive-thru, Joe?
What is the big deal with going through the drive-thru? Why would you rather go into the restaurant?
Because this Popeyes always has the longest fucking line with their drive-thru. It was 10 cars.
I get it.
Inside. So I was like, all right, good. I'll go inside. So I went. I pulled on the door. It was locked. I seen, the guy there. I knocked on the fucking door. He came down. I was like, it says you guys are open. He's like, no, you have to go through the drive-thru. I was like, okay. So I backed up, and then now it's like 11 cars back instead of fucking 8.
Wait. You backed up. You were in your car when you pulled in and asked the guy.
No.
No, I got out of my car, went up to the door to pull, and it was locked. I was like, what the fuck? It said they were open. But
Joe just pulls up to the outside door, and he's got like a fucking broomstick that he just shoves out his window and taps on. And he's like, hey, you said you were open in here.
So, like I said, I lost 3 spaces in fucking drive-thru line. So I'd gotten drive-thru, then I got up there, and I placed my order because I was going to get that 2 can dine for $10. You get all that food again. I was like, I'll have $5 left on the card then for next time I go for a sandwich. So I sit there, put the order. Then when I come up to pay, I put the card. Remember, we got to put them under a thing, and they have this big glass window that spins around because they don't want to get robbed. So anyways, I put that in there, and she seen it. She's like, oh, how much is on that card? I was like, there's $15. And she was like, oh, well, your total is 10. I was like, yeah, there's $15 on there. She was like, oh, if I take that, I can't give it back to you. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, oh, we can't do that right now. We're having an issue with our system. If I take it, I'm going to have to keep it all. I was like, all right, then. And I just drove the fuck off. I didn't give them that goddamn card. $5? They were going to fucking take $5? Like, are you fuckers insane? I'm not giving up 32 cents.
So you wanted to starve.
Joe is having the worst weekend.
I was pissed that day, so I had to drive to a Popeyes that's even further off in a way, and I went there and I got the goddamn food.
So you weren't about wasting gas though, but you're not going to waste money, right?
Would she give you like the $5 back?
No. She said once that's it, she'd take the card. That's it. They couldn't do anything else. That was
but
it.
The other Popeyes was okay, so it was just.
And they were okay with it. Huh. So this one, it had me infuriated. So I was really fucking pissed that day, trying to take $5 fucking for my card. Oh shit! All right, let's get to.
I tell you, the 3 of us, we really don't know what hardship is, do we?
Mm-mm.
No. I mean, I thought Nathan had a bad day at work earlier this week, and I'm sure Rebecca's having a hard time with all the big fat vaginas coming in to see her. But man, I'm like, man, this day sucks, and this, I couldn't lift this today, and I'm thinking, Joe's struggling over $5 at Popeyes.
I was actually talking to Emily about it because I'm just like 32 cents, and Emily was like, "No, I've been there before. I get that." And I was like, "Huh." So Joe was here to put things in perspective for not only us but everybody out there listening.
$5, that's a whole nother chicken sandwich.
Well, see that's one thing. Like the 32 cents, I fuck that. Like that, I don't understand. But $5 on the card, I totally get that.
All right. If you got any extra change, Nathan, Becca, Tyler, you just send that to me if you ever.
No.
Have some extra
Yeah, I'm
change.
just
I'll
gonna
use it.
mail you a box full of fucking pennies and nickels.
No, if we ever did it, it has to be pennies. That way he's got to go through the pain in the ass of counting out the pennies and the humiliation of a sack full of pennies when he goes into Popeye.
Oh.
Do you
You
think
gotta be
Joe would be?
humiliated?
I was gonna say, do you really? No, he wouldn't be.
Normal for me. I love using pennies.
No,
inside
but I
those
mean like an
people's
obscene
faces.
amount. Like, you know,
Like
Like
well, I guess Joe would
$18
probably,
worth of pennies.
well, he would probably count this shit out before he got in his box and drove over there and,
Oh, shit.
you know.
Fuck. Well, let's get to our
He
main.
would just roll with the box and just be like, "No, that's $18. There's 1,800 pennies in here. I'm sure of it."
I'm curious,
Oh.
Joe. How do you tip people?
He doesn't
Oh, good question.
hate-
Very good question.
Now, see,
with his wiener.
If,
With his wiener.
okay, that's a tip. No,
That's a
if
small tip.
when I go to what you call a real restaurant, fuck off. So if I
What?
go to a real
What's
restaurant,
a real restaurant though?
well,
What
you know,
qual-
like and all you
Applebee's?
can eat
Golden
Chinese,
Corral?
all you can eat Chinese. Well, no, you can eat Chinese buffet. You know, like it's $11.99, so you
King
get all you
buffet
can
or
eat.
something like that.
Yeah, cabana. He's over there eating some Cabana Boy. Not in that
So
way.
if it's $12, I always leave $3 as a tip for the waitress. So there, so it's a $15 total. Come 12, I give $3.
What is
so
the
I,
percentage though? Like,
You're supposed to leave a 10% tip, Joe.
well,
well,
if
the
it's,
10% of wait,
Or
wait,
20%, 20% tip.
20%.
I mean, that would be 20%. Or close to.
20% of $12 would be $2.40. So I'm giving $3.
He
so I give
knows.
more.
So
than
Joe-
He's so
look, you admit-
specific
yeah.
about it. He is.
Yeah.
He is.
just to let you know,
Wow.
math was my
Uncle
subject in
Money
school. I
back there
used a
being
fucking
generous with
calculator.
the
I
Mongolian
used my
buffet
head.
tip.
I
so
never
if
used
you're
to
out with somebody who like leaves a really generous tip, are you like, don't give them that much? You don't
Yeah,
want
no.
They
to.
can go ahead
Or do you
and
go
give all
back
they
and
want.
take it
I'm
for
like,
He
yeah, I'm
goes
doing
back
that.
and he's like, I forgot something, and then he goes back in and he's like, what's this $7? And takes like 4 of it and puts it in his pocket.
All right, here's a follow-up, Joe. If you're taking out one of your lovely ladies there, and do you let her pick? And if so, do you pay? Do you half it, or do you expect her to pay?
Oh
And do
no!
you tell? And do you limit her menu? Like, do you make her order off the kids' menu when you guys go?
No, I
You
will
don't-
pay. I am gentlemanly. I will pay. I'll pay.
You're just getting an
I,
appetizer and you'll like it. That's what you
that,
do.
that's how you,
No, but
So
see,
you
he
guys
takes
split an
his dates to
appetizer.
Taco Bell
Yeah.
though.
we
He
get the
doesn't
free
take him to a
breadsticks.
nice
If we-
restaurant. He takes him to Taco Bell.
One time we filled up at El Camino because we went to El Camino. They give you like, tortilla chips before you eat with salsa. I'm like, this is like fucking a meal right here. So we just get something like real light. That's worked out plenty of times. But
You
I
made a
will-
meal out of the free chips they gave you, and that
They give you a ton of
Are
them.
you not surprised? Come on.
no,
man.
I'm not. But I'm like, is your date like, can I get a taco? You're like, fuck no, we got free food here.
There's just chips and salsa. That's an appetizer, Joe.
Well, no, it's actually free. They give
I
it to
know.
you.
Well, we know it's
Like,
free.
Just
We've
yesterday.
all been to Mexican restaurants. We know the protocol, Joe.
I mean, it wasn't an appetizer you paid for, but yeah, she could
Exactly.
get
We
like
know that. That's why you go
She
in
could
for
get
like, well, you ready to go?
oh shit. No, but I will pay. I'm a good guy. Oh, I say that so much.
all right,
that I'm
all right.
bad.
All right, let's say one of your hot topic groupies, like, so Joe, handset going out with you on a Friday night. You're like, okay, well, I'll pick you up at 8. She wants to go to dinner. Where are you going to take her to impress her?
Red Robin. We ain't going to no fucking fancy restaurant. Trust me, I don't need to do that. It's usually
Now, is Red Robin the pick because of the bottomless steak fries? I would assume that's like the big kicker.
see, that's it. You're on the wavelength. First, you're getting a good burger for $8.99, but then you get unlimited steak fries.
You
And
don't
then,
give her a choice. Like,
Do you
where
give her
would
the
you
burger and you eat all the fries? That way you really,
She can pick anywhere she wants, just as long as it ain't like one of those restaurants where you're paying like $20, $30 for a steak. Like, are you fucking crazy? This shit ain't happening. What do you think? I'm rich? This is not happening in any universe. Sorry, it's like you paying. Then
I mean,
we'll
do you
do
have
it.
enough
You're
money to
paying
pay
for
for the
that shit.
condoms afterwards, Joe? Like the hotel room and all that stuff?
Hey,
He's
if-
got
if
his
you
whole
pay-
date like budgeted. He's like, condom, $3.
Yeah.
The tip.
that Dave Chappelle thing.
$3.
He's like, condom, who needs those? Eh.
Yeah, it's like,
Like,
What can I cut out? The condom.
Joe is like, I'm practice safe sex. I pull out.
let's get to this topic. Go ahead, Tyler, whatever you want started.
Well,
Nathan, you need to insert your orgasm noise, like we do, like Joe's like, oh yeah, I'm done.
Felipe was wondering if I wear my COVID mask.
Sorry, I didn't take the mask off, baby. You didn't get to see my O face.
Oh shit!
Will you take the mask off when you are, taking care of business there?
Well, that's when I use the other mask. It has this one open up right there.
No, come on, no.
Oh my god.
No.
Well, at least
No.
Joe is saying he is willing to go downtown.
Oh boy.
If he's in
Oh boy.
At least we can
Yeah.
guarantee that's one buffet Joe doesn't have to pay for.
You hear that, Mom? Joe loves going downtown. She's like, George, what does that mean? Probably. I don't know.
Your dad just giggling off to the side there
Oh,
while he's watching Ghost Rider on Blu-ray.
man.
Go
All right.
ahead. Let's.
Well, before we jump into the topic that Tyler picked for the week, I think it would be important, because I think that's probably why most people are here, if I had to guess.
Oh, they're not here for my topic. Well, fuck all of you.
Is the Lords of Power pre-orders were announced. I think one of the details that's left out here on the slides that I have up, because I got everything from Facebook here, is I want to say Joe...
January 18th they start.
January 18th is when they start. I didn't get a chance to...
It's next Friday, right?
18th is 9 days from now.
Oh, no, it's next
I
Monday.
think it's Tuesday. It'll be a Tuesday. It'll be a Tuesday, correct?
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
They did have a lot of details. It's going to be from January 18th to
March 6th.
March 6th. And they also said that on, I think, March 7th, they would go on sale if people just want to get single ones from like lots of other types of retailers or something.
Well, Joe,
I'm trying to remember.
I got all the slides right here. So you can pre-order the full set of 6-carded Lords of Power figures. This is the only way to complete your Divine Armor. So you got to get them all to have the Build-A-Figure Divine Armor. Individual figures will go on sale March 7th. From our network of retailers and distributors around the world. We don't know who those are yet, so I don't know if that would be like a Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, places like that, or what they have planned for that. I don't think anything specifically was specified.
Did it happen to say how much? Because I still don't know how much
they'll be $29.99 each. If you get the whole set, there's one set where you can get all of them along with the early bird kit.
It's the next slide, Joe. God damn it.
Oh, yeah, you took all my thunder.
God damn it.
Yeah, I want to get all of them. I just want to make sure I can budget myself there. I mean, we're just kind of curious. I got the money to do it, but it's always nice to know in advance how much I'm going to be forking out.
Right.
The full power complete set of Wave 1 Lords of Power figures includes the limited edition early bird kit, which is going to be $200 plus shipping. We don't know how much shipping will be yet, also not specified. But next slide here is showing you what you're going to get. So there's going to be this cardboard cutout, which looks really fucking cool. You're going to get...
Is that the background?
Yes.
Okay.
That dragon...
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get a poster, which it's actually here on the next slide, so I'll go ahead and read this out, and then I'll bounce back to that image. A fold-out cardboard Castle Dragonstone, a sheet of punch-out cardboard characters, the Lords of Power official poster by Matt O'Toole, which all of it looks great. The poster looks fucking awesome. This cutout looks great, so that will be like a really nice little display piece to put behind all of these figures. So that's the early bird. That's what you get with that, and it's $200 plus shipping. And then the kits will be individually numbered and shipped out around May 2022. So that's not that far off.
And they're beating the hell out of Super 7's business plan.
4 months, roughly. Now, there is potential, and if there is a delay, understandable, probably. Mm-hmm. But still, to have that date, May 2022, that's good to hear, as opposed to Super 7 or like NECA being like, yeah, this will be available like way later, Q4 2022.
Quarter 2023, when you get those kind of answers.
Yeah. You can also pre-order the complete set of 6 Wave 1 Lords of Power figures. Those will be $179.94, so roughly we'll round up the 6 cents. Sorry, Joe. It'll be $180.
That makes it $29.99.
Yeah, plus shipping. So but you don't get any of the other stuff. So
you don't get that early bird kit.
Yeah. So for $20 more, I think it would be worth it to have like the display, get the cool poster. So you get 7 figures for the cost of 6. No limit on how many full power sets and regular sets each customer can pre-order, so there's no set limit there, which is good. So if you want to have a carded set and let another set breathe, you can do that. The figures are estimated to ship in last quarter of 2022. So with that, now that I'm reading that now, because I didn't read this slide before, now I'm kind of curious. So May 2022, unless, I guess, the early bird ships out in May, and then if you got them individually, not early bird, then they would ship out last quarter.
Okay.
It's what I'm assuming, just from reading this. And they will ship worldwide, which is good to hear, because sometimes places are like, we can't ship here, we can't ship here. Obviously, it'll cost more with shipping, but good to hear. So that's what we got right now, and I think that's awesome. To have like set dates, have set prices for everybody. I think $200 if you think about it for the 6 figures plus the build of figures, so 7 figures. You think 7 figures? Joe, do the math. 200 divided by 7. And you said it was what, 20? You said $30 roughly per figure.
Yeah, they're $29.99 each for each figure. And remember, once you get the whole set, each one comes with a piece of the divine armor that makes the 7 figures. So that's how you get the 7.
So,
but yeah, and
that's not bad. I feel like that's kind of in line, if not cheaper, compared to like if you buy a set of Marvel Legends or what's some of the other stuff they put in bulk, like some of the super. Obviously, it's cheaper than the Super 7
any of the bulk, the Super 7 stuff.
Yeah.
You're looking close to $300.
Yeah,
exactly, for 4 figures.
God.
And when you're using the logic, when you're using that logic of $29.99, and if you got them all, and you're getting the 7th, so it's something that other ones you're not doing. You're not getting that with other people that charge a lot more. It's like you're getting that one figure, and that's it. You ain't getting bonus ones to make another one. So that makes it even better. But the pre-orders, it'll be January 18th at 12 p.m. noon Eastern time at formotoys.com. That's where you go, and that's when the pre-orders start at that time.
Simple Tricks in the chat. Early bird in May, toys in last quarter. So we're going to get the poster and the cardboard stuff in May, and then the toys will come out last quarter. It's kind of like Star Wars, as he said. Like Kenner Star Wars figures in 77, 78. So
the thing that Nathan told me to put that shit back.
No, you had the Pop-Tarts and the Monopoly and all that horse shit.
I had the mock-up early bird kit. You told me to put that shit back. We're going to Target.
I mean, you could have bought it. You had it in your hand.
You didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I knew. I always knew what the early bird thing was. If anybody knows that.
You shit right on it, right next to the Pop-Tarts.
I mean, whatever. I was never partial to the Kenner Star Wars stuff anyway, really, if I'm being honest. I'm sure that's where the vast majority of our dislikes will come this week. Oh, you didn't like Kenner Star Wars? I'll do. Yeah, I like Kenner Star Wars. Or however Joe does that stupid voice
there, yeah.
Call me obnoxious? How dare you? My voice
your voice was obnoxious, not you obnoxious, Joe.
I mean, he has a tendency.
But that implies me. That's terrible. My voices are fantastic. How dare you talk about that one shitty voice that I do?
I'm glad you like them.
People love my voices.
People love to hear Joe talk.
I mean, he is the reason why most of the people are here. So
yeah, they all relate to Joe. You know, we're unrelatable.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I am. I think we all know I'm the ultimate heel on this podcast. Everyone hates, loves to dump on me, and I'm like the yeah. There, see, look at that. I love having Rebecca in my corner because Nathan and Joe ain't gonna back me up. So, me and my twin of power, we say fuck all of them.
Okay.
We're not going there again. Prom. We're not going there.
All right, make this screen big, and then Tyler, go ahead and start it off.
All right. Well.
All right.
Well, I know briefly over the years we've talked about where the search for Keldor hinted at, and then that Keldor was going to be Skeletor, He-Man's uncle. But was a Grayskull line, never took off. But I started thinking because I've never been a fan of the Skeletor being He-Man's uncle thing. But if the four of us were given the opportunity, like Lee Norland, who edited those mini comics, was like, hey, look, you know what? I believe in you guys. You guys come up with some good ideas, but we got to go with what Mattel or what we were. This is what we got to work with. This is where our storyline is going in the upcoming mini comics. And Powers of Grayskull's kicking off, so we got two big flagship lines going. This is where we want to take these characters in our mini comics. Go. So I thought, like, in doing this, King Hiss is supposed to be the prominent villain in Powers of Grayskull. I almost feel like we'd have to eliminate King Hiss from the main Master of the Universe storyline because I feel like it's oversaturating the character both in Master of the Universe and Powers of Grayskull, because to me it just makes more sense to like make him the focal point of the hero storyline. We take King Hiss out of that. You either bring in Hordak more prominently or bring in a third villain, or you don't do it at all. You bring more of the focus back to Skeletor and Hordak moving forward. You know, with Skeletor being outed as He-Man's uncle, Randor's brother, do you capitalize on that? Do you build upon that? Or, you know, does it become more of a singled out storyline between Skeletor and Randor, a little bit of He-Man versus Skeletor, but then He-Man's taking on more of the Horde? Do you incorporate, you know, She-Ra more into the main mini comics to capitalize on the girls' storylines going on at the same time? Like, just wanted to throw it out there, like the possibilities. Like, we have to make Skeletor He-Man's uncle in this idea. Like, making the best out of that. Like, what do you guys think comes to mind for this?
I would love it, actually, you mentioning them bringing She-Ra into the mini comics, because her mini comics weren't that great. I wasn't to see her done more, less girly and more badass like she was in Filmation in the mini comics. That would be awesome. So I would love to see that, and then the Horde as well, like you were saying. So that would be awesome to see.
I think it would be cool to, even though you're not a fan of it, if you're forced to take that angle with Keldor being He-Man's uncle, I think the appropriate thing would be to shift that focus to concentrate more of the relationship that Keldor and Randor had at some point that was never even talked about. So you would get a little flashbacky with it, but I don't think it would be too much of a problem, and you could work it into. You could easily work She-Ra into that as well to bring it as like this is a family affair issue, and play around with that a little more, and maybe even just after watching Cobra Kai so much in the last couple of weeks and with the new season, what they do in that show, I feel like you could pull elements from that and work it into this to really kind of pit people against each other and kind of play off of that drama a little more. It could be divisive. I feel like if you did certain things a certain way, I don't think people would buy it as much, but I mean, then again, and I'm going to just kind of kick them while they're down, those people that were kind of digging on Revelation and ate all that up, they'd probably love the shit out of what you would do with that in terms of playing with the family drama angle. But I think it would be fine. Do you guys think that if that had continued and gone that route, that when they revisited with 2000X, do you think they would take that element and maybe leave it out entirely then? Because that sort of came there, and that was sort of jarring for a lot of people when 2000X came out. So
yeah, they never even really expanded upon the relationship, though. They
True.
never. There's not a single episode. You know, if you hadn't read the interviews and known of the where Mattel was going to go with the mini comics, then you would never have known that Randor and Keldor were related at all, because there's not a single episode that hints at it, or even there's no mention of a brother to Randor at all.
Yeah.
So it's not a necessary thing, but I know me and Joe have talked about it numerous times on the podcast. I mean, I think it's a very lame ass idea to make Skeletor related to He-Man in any way, but I feel like you could have a lot of fun, though, by maybe pushing the focus between He-Man and Skeletor which contradicts what I've always championed about. Like, I don't like the focus being taken away from those two, but to change it up and to make Skeletor and Randor's feud a little bit more, especially with Randor has no idea what happened to Keldor. Like, Skeletor is trying to keep it a secret. Well, as to why, we don't know. I mean, obviously, it's for the readers, the kids at the time. They don't want them to know that Keldor is really Randor's brother, Skeletor. I mean, Joe, what's your take on? I mean, like, you and I've talked about it plenty of times, but do you see any fun to be had with progressing this storyline with the new characters we were supposed to get? Like the Hot Shot, the Terror, Strobo. We got all these characters to work into the mix in the upcoming lines. The White Ninja. It's not going to be Slamurai, but along with that, but with this new family dynamic, you feel like there's some fun that could be had?
Well, I'm sure that, like we knew, they were gonna be related. I know he would not have been blue skinned. He would have been the same color as Randor. That's the other thing I hate. It's like, why'd they have to do this whole blue skin bullshit thing? I don't
the whole
understand.
guard bullshit. Well, we can blame our illustrious friend Nightlick for that.
Yeah, just so nonsense with that. But as much as I don't like the thought of them being related, because talk about cliche. Oh, it ends up these two are related, son of a bitch. But as a kid, I'm sure I would have bought right into it. They would have probably had a comic where, because remember, every year, that veil opens up to where they can tap into the power to see what happened through the past, to find what's going on. So I'm sure they would have wrote another comic, and we would have seen what happened and how Skeletor turned and what happened with this dark magic that made him evil then. And I'm sure you're right. I bet they would even have did some comics or mini comics of showing how it happened, not just a flashback. I could envision they probably would have shown.
I could see Bruce Timm illustrating like an origin of Skeletor, like even so much. Like, I still like the idea of Skeletor coming from Infinita. So my thought was like, once he decides, you know what, I'm not gonna take the throne because Randor's gonna get it. Fuck him. I'll go out. I'll make my own destiny and take the throne for myself. Befriends Hordak. Learns what he can, betrays Hordak, goes to Infinita, conquers it, maybe obtains more forms of magic, maybe picks up some of his allegiances in Infinita that come with him to kind of upstart, the evil warrior faction, maybe, if you really want, or just
Well, you can tell there was some jealousy. There's definitely jealousy there, because there's even a comment he made to Randor towards the end of the Search of Keldor about his goodness. There's something that he couldn't stand, didn't want to hear no more of it, like he'd be done with him, gone with it. So you could tell it's definitely some jealousy he had. Obviously, that was the thing. Probably Randor was going to be the one that would become king. Of course, they twisted, went just a whole other direction with MYP and some of that other shit that when not just MYP. I mean, MYP is when we heard Keldor. They still, like you said, didn't say it was brothers. But once we started getting the comics and the bios and the bullshit, it's like, okay, now all jealousy, all nonsense. Like, that was, I think, in such a real extreme direction. But I'm sure
trying to, like, he's got blue skin, so therefore he's
that was just
silly
I'm sure
shit.
He was. Yeah, I'm sure, like I said, he was jealous that, he's the one that's going to be next in line. He figured, well, what am I going to fucking do?
Well, I'm fine with the idea of Keldor being jealous of Randor in a sense that, I should roll with an iron fist. Like, you're too damn kind. You're too damn lenient. People need to...
I said, he made word of that in the comic. He actually, said that. So you could tell it's like he doesn't like that shit. So he started tapping into magic and obviously turned him into into Skeletor. Of course, I am a fan of him just being an evil being from another dimension.
That's my preference. But
yeah, that's definitely the one I like. But if we're going with what they would have done, yes, they would end up being related. So I'm sure we would have got figures if they would have did something in a flashback. Then with future stories of them just always trying to now butt heads, what are they going to try to do to could they change Skeletor to maybe go back to be good? Is there going to be this dynamic of that? I don't know what they would have exactly done, but they could have definitely carried out the storyline with a lot of new characters. The thing with King Hiss, you're right. King Hiss would have probably just became part of Powers of Grayskull, and he probably would have been pretty much written out of Masters of the Universe.
That's why I would have had Skeletor to amp up him. He banishes King Hiss to, I don't know, back to the the Void, the Snake Pit itself, or find some way to write him out of that storyline, so that way you can make the focus of him in the hero story. I don't know if you want to keep all the Snake Men around.
Yeah, it would have been
I like the idea.
great
I like the
stories.
idea of some of the Snake Men still sticking around in the. I mean, what do you all think? If King Hiss was to be written out of the main mini comic storyline, because they'll still be selling toys under the Powers of Grayskull branch, but would you guys prefer that Squeeze and Snakeface all be written out? Okay.
No, I think some of them would probably have lingered.
I think it would be important to have some of them around to kind of keep alive the memory of just have them there as the basis to be like to connect the two, to bridge the two, to be like, hey, I remember this back when this was going on, kind of thing, to sort of just.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't want them written out. I'm sure that they would still have some stories here and there, but to make it interesting, since obviously the story with Hero is going to be in the past, then it's a good centralized story where you have more of the Snake Men and the Giants. Oh God, how fucking awesome would that have been to see that in other characters? But but as for like the current story, yes, they'd still be there now and then, but I think it would just be a little more interesting to keep them not in as much of the stories focalizing on them, because I think that takes away from just enjoying them in this past story, especially if they're going to try to tell two different stories with two different lines almost at the same time. I mean, of course, yes, they still would probably have some part where they'd be shown in the normal future current stories, but I think I would be just more inclined to like to see the newer villains and the newer things and newer heroes that would be introduced in the current stuff, and then just had the Snake Man and even other Snake Men. I'm sure that we would have found out who was the real unnamed one, not that shitty fucking Trollan bullshit. We would have had really a real good unnamed one, and other Snake Men that could have been in the past that obviously just we never seen in the current stories. There could have been so much potential with both those lines and both stories. It sucks that it ended, because you're right, you wonder where it would have gone.
I think I would take a couple of the Snake Men, if we're keeping them around in current times, and make them almost like bounty hunters that don't really have an allegiance towards anybody, and then you see them kind of bouncing back and forth, while also kind of giving you the story of, I remember like this and that and whatever, that you can just sort of bounce back and forth between. Because I think it would be important to have those two lines still like sort of connected. That way it's not just like here's this one, have them kind of mention back and forth. Well, you would just take the current line and mention the previous, not the other way around, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
see what I would do is, since we were supposed to get these Snake Men Horde Troopers, I would have those be remnants of King Hiss's men taken in by the Horde and brainwashed to become Snake Men of the Horde, and then you've got Squeeze, Snakeface, Tongue Lasher, Rattler either align themselves with Skeletor, or they're just kind of off on their own as like a mini faction with no leader or fighting for a leader. Much like how Cobra Khan was kind of linked with the Snake Men to help sell more Cobra Khan toys, but they make him part of the Snake Men. Why not have these guys join with Skeletor if they weren't captured by the Horde and brainwashed to become new Hordesmen, much like the snake Horde Troopers that we were going to get.
And you could take the Tongue Lasher and Squeeze and all those guys, like go to try to liberate those guys who have been brainwashed by the Horde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you could almost see them like have temporary alliances with She-Ra, and He-Man and Horde Adventures to liberate their imprisoned comrades. Whether it's more about like, we don't give a shit about you, but we need your help to free our people.
Yeah, that's why I think it would be good to have them sort of shifting along, kind of not sticking particularly with any sort of faction, maybe just sort of moving with who they kind of see would be the victor.
Or who benefits them the most.
Yeah.
If Skeletor feels like if tagging along with him for the moment works for them, they'll tag along with the Evil Warriors.
Yeah.
If they feel like they can work with the Heroic Warriors, then I could see them doing that. But they were clearly a group not to be trusted. Like, they live up to the name of
being snakes.
Snakes, and what King Hiss would do. King Hiss will betray Skeletor. That's why I feel like I love in the mini comics when you see King Hiss and Skeletor together, they always throw in a word bubble that they're going to betray each other at some point. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see that in the 88 wave where Skeletor triumphs over King Hiss. I don't know where we would send him. I feel like there's all kinds of places you could send him. You don't kill him, but where was I going with this? Shit. Damn it.
Come on, man.
Um,
You got
but
this.
You want to see him betray.
Yeah, to see the ultimate betrayal, because I think we can all agree, like, you know, we all love Hordak, but I feel like Skeletor's going to be the ultimate villain to rise above all three of the evil factions. But to actually see Skeletor, you actually see that fight where they say, all right, you know what, I'm going to kill you right now. Not literally for the kids, but they do turn on each other. They fight, and Skeletor, it triumphs over King Hiss. That way, all we have left is the Horde and the evil warriors. And that also leaves room for new villains, like new toys to be made. Do we have another new faction? Or just do we expand the Horde and the evil warriors? Or do we bring in villains? Because He-Man never had characters that were solo villains in the vintage line. Mm-hmm. They always had an allegiance. You know, we never had a solo, even we had it in the cartoon, but they never really followed closely with the cartoon other than, you know, giving us King Rand or the Sorcerer Snorko. You know, we never got a Negator or a Lodar in the toy line.
I think those would be that would be the opportunity to have more of those, have like the grand story that you want to tell going on, but also have those little like one-off
individual adventures.
Yeah, because I think that would be a good way to break up what you're. It's kind of like when you're reading any comic books, right? Like I've been reading a lot of Spider-Man, so you'll have a lot of those issues where it's like 2-3 issues take up like this grand arc, but then after that you'll just have like, here's one issue with one kind of villain, and that was it. It doesn't like it.
Yeah.
It connects to everything, but it's just, here's a one-off, that character goes away, we're continuing on with the bigger story. I think that would be cool to drop those characters in like that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, you're selling toys too, right? So you can take that opportunity to have this one-shot character, make it really awesome to where they're like, I gotta have that toy. Yeah. But also pack that mini comic in with another figure. So not because what I would do is not have, here's a mini comic that goes with this entire wave, right? I would make each figure come with a different mini comic. That way you're not doubling up on that, and you can put it in a way it's like, all right, well, this mini comic with Lodar is going to be here with this figure, so when they read it, they'd be like, I want a Lodar figure. Right?
Yeah. That's where, at least package where like you have 4 mini comics and you got 8 figures. So two of those figures are going to come with the same mini comic because this new hero and this new villain are featured in this mini comic. Like if we're going to get Strobo in the vintage line, mm-hmm. and they put him in with I don't know, I guess the character that became Terror. Like those two duke it out in this new mini comic, like because they did that with Clash of Arms. Like Clash of Arms came with Evelyn, Clawful, Jitsu, and I think Webstor, who were all featured, you know, pretty prominently in that mini comic, and Fisto. So I would play it up like that. That way, you know, you got, you know, but in a perfect world, we'd have a brand new mini comic with every single character, you know.
I think that would be the best way to go about it because it just makes sense from the perspective of, I mean, I guess, sorry, Joe, you could kind of tell us more about this. Would it be disappointing for you when you would get a new figure, but it would have a mini comic that you already had? That would have to be kind of a bummer. It's like, oh, I already got this. What am I going to do with it?
I think the only time it was kind of overwhelming was with the Search for Keldor, the one we're kind of even like building off of. I had so many of them, but I guess I didn't have an issue because we got a ton of fucking mini comics. I mean, you're right. I guess getting like, you know, so many figures that would have the same one could get annoying, but I think they mixed it up pretty well, and I think they would still stay consistent with that when they would do a new line. I'm sure it wouldn't just be one mini comic. We probably would have got at least 3, but I like that where, you know, the idea that any new character we'd get, yes, it would be nice to have a comic focusing on this person and how they came to be. Because there's so many that we really didn't get their stories. It's unfortunate we didn't get something that really, really explained Rio Blast. But we get stuff like that in little tidbit things from Wonder Bread cards and UK stories. So they got it that way, but I still would have liked more origins for the characters with an actual mini comic. So yes, for like Strobo, for the White Ninja, hell, even the Snake Troopers, any of them. It would have been great to have comics of like, oh, how did these fuckers come to be? And yes, I hate Slamorai's name. It's like, that's not a samurai.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
make
don't-
any sense at all.
Oh, what a fucking horrible name. I know it would have been a completely different name beyond that. Makes you wonder. That's another thing we should do is renaming those Errol McCarthy pieces. That's what we should do in another episode. We give real names and backgrounds to all of them. How about that?
There, we got our topic for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
What
so.
would
There
you
go.
call Slamurai?
It sure wouldn't have been that shit. And hell, it's like, we don't even know like the color palettes and everything too. But no, yes, to get back to what you said, I would want more mini comics for characters and their origins, and not so many duplicates.
I think
So,
it would just help with not even just from the kid's perspective too, but you got to think about the parent that would be buying it for the kid. If they're seeing like this comes with the same comic, then in their head they're probably like, they don't need this figure. They already have that comic.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, if you miss out on this figure, you're missing out on that part of the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which that would be a good way to
Encourage all buying. If you make sure,
Mhm.
if it's I mean, I would think a mini comic storyline back in the 80s would have been maybe 3 parts. Max.
I mean, that's fair.
I couldn't see it being any bigger than that when your target audience is 5 and 6 year olds.
Well, you
4-year-olds.
think about it, like the waves would be what, roughly 6-7 figures per wave.
Around 8 figures. A lot of times, yeah.
So if we have 8 figures, and then we have, let's say we have a 3-parter, right? So that takes out 3 of your figures. If we're going to do a new mini comic. And then like Joe said, maybe have the other 5 figures have a mini comic that are the one-off stories or like the origin stories. Or maybe you could do 2 3-parters and then 2 other books that would tell an origin, or maybe bring together a couple of the other characters in the wave that kind of tell 2 origin stories at once, or kind of how like a Ninja or Clamp Champ mini comic, like your idea, have 2 characters on opposite sides that would have a comic where it's just those 2 guys that are in battle with each other and no one else, kind of thing. So there's a lot of things you could play around with when it comes to that.
No, you can, and it definitely does help with when you do give these origins to make these characters a little more. I don't know if you want to say you're understanding who they are and where they came from, because like another one that gets shit on all the time is Snout Spout. We never got a real origin, but again, Wonder Bread cards, stuff that they got from some of those file things and information that they then, the UK gave stories to, so they get more of it. Because you know what's sad to me is sometimes the people that just completely shit on all these characters, and even some that do have an origins, like when you think about like how Ninjor and Scareglow got brought, by Skeletor and Search from Keldor, some people still don't really understand them because you know what? They weren't in the cartoon. I hate that the only sometimes way people relate is by seeing something in motion, hearing it, and not reading it. Because God forbid you read a fucking comic. It's like, God, all these characters, a lot of them do have a fucking origin, but you guys didn't read this shit. And some don't. But it's like, oh, I don't understand this real class.
That's why Aquaman got such a bad rap all these years, because nobody fucking read his stuff.
See?
I never understood that either, and that's an excellent point why he was constantly shit on, because just think of the Super Friends cartoon as if like, I'm sorry, but anybody who controls sea life in the ocean, why the hell would you make fun of or think that they were
because the ocean makes up the vast majority of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yet people are like, oh, he sucks.
And you can control everything in the water. Sharks, pufferfish, man. Pufferfish are toxic to humans, man.
Yeah.
Like,
You control damn whales.
Piranhas, fuck yeah! Like
piranhas, octopi. Like,
think about
who the hell's gonna mess around with somebody like who can control a great white shark, a killer whale, and a giant squid at the same time?
But think about that. If Aquaman turned heel, all he could do was just be
This
like,
fool's
I'm gonna tie this motherfucker up right here, and then I'm gonna summon these piranhas, jump out of the water, and just eat them alive. Like, that'd be badass, man.
So there's a lot of potential to be had with Merman too.
Yes.
Merman's a character that is we just have to blame. I mean, he has some good moments in the Filmation series, without a doubt, but that's a character that never got to reach the full potential of what that character could have been. Like he really could have been his own villain, like where he is an allegiance with Skeletor, but man, you could have a whole lot of adventures that are water based.
And you
with
could
him.
you could put him in the perspective of like Skeletor playing off the whole thing of underestimating those characters and having Merman kind of show him up to be like, hey, given the right circumstance, I could take you out anytime I want. I could be the new leader if I wanted to be. Like,
well, they love screwing him over. But think of that. Think of Beastman. Beastman, look at all the shit he can do and what he can control.
That's true too.
Because the main battles are on land. It's like Beastman would fuck you guys up if you'd let him. But no, let's have him fucking slipping on banana peels and make him a fucking idiot and just make him a joke. It's like Beastman is the one that it always pissed me off how they dumbed him down in that fucking cartoon. There's times that, of course, yes, we've seen his potential towards some of the beginning first episodes. Like, look what this guy can fucking do. And they try to elaborate. Even the MYP. You
can make a mini comic that Skeletor constantly underestimating Beastman and Merman, and they decide to get together and be like, "Hey, we can control everything on land and the sea." So here you go.
Think of that as a team together.
Yeah. Mattel, if you're out there, we're right here.
That's way too good of a story plot for them.
Yeah, that jerk off Rob Day was like, that's not woman friendly enough. It's not cotton candy enough. It's not pussified enough.
Think of that dumb shit. The way they did him in fucking the Revelation cartoon Beastman, turn him into that dipshit. I was like, oh yeah. It's like, goddamn. It further pisses me off the potential of that character. And he's shit over as being just a dorky kind of sidekick. And he done. Look at my new outfit. I'm all tribal like and a ponytail and like, what the fuck is this dumb shit? Oh god, no more of that. I won't talk about that anymore. I hate this.
Well, I was gonna say someone in our group had posted. Put a quote from Revelation, but had like, "Hey, I got Goatman," but did the Man at Arms quote, and I wasn't thinking of it because I just at this point I've completely blocked it out of my memory because I'm just like, I didn't care for it. I don't want to think about it anymore. So whatever, it's out of the memory bank. But fuck. There's too many good ideas to be had here, and you think about putting it in a mini comic format. It's just no brainer. It would be so easy to do because there's so many characters and so many stories that weren't told at all. And then you bring that other aspect of, all right, well, let's work in the Keldor Randor power struggle storyline if you want to go that way, because it's talked about all the time, especially in recent memory. You think about what's their fucking faces, Prince Charles's kids. Diana's kids, there's that whole dynamic of how things are laid out of like, well, all right, well,
one's definitely favored.
Yeah, and when Queen Elizabeth passes away, then Charles finally gets the crown, and he's got all of his siblings that are just kind of probably mad about that, and then you got his kids waiting in the wings, but then like one of them leaves, gets married, and just like, yeah, we're not doing this shit anymore. So there's
just say good for him.
I mean, yeah. So, but still, that people latch onto that, right? The general public, it's selling magazines.
They eat that shit up.
They eat it up, and you could take those same elements and work it into this storyline because that's how it was going to be sort of presented anyway. It's like, all right, the brothers. He's got the crown. He's been too lenient and everything. I would rule with an iron fist, and it just writes itself. Pro Wrestling 101. It's so easy to do, and yet here we are.
I never thought it would be a fun idea to explore, but after I threw this, I'm like, you know what? There probably could be a lot of fun to be had with seeing Skeletor become Skeletor, like pointing at the flaws in Randor's logic. And saying that this guy's so weak, this guy would let people walk all over him. People, invading hordes would come in all the time, or it just really build up like the evil in Skeletor, like that this guy's destined to become the ultimate evil. It's not about the people loving you; it's about the people fearing you. Like that's Keldor's motto.
I'll ask you this: would you leave any sort of hints that at some point in one way or another there was goodness to him? Because I know.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a trapping that like
I hate that.
We're stuck with right now.
They use it so much.
Yeah.
They do it to dehumanize, or they bring villains down way too much. Where it's just it's too damn much. Skeletor needs to be evil from the get go. He needs to just be, it's not a chemical imbalance. It's nothing. No tragic backstory. It's like no, he's
Well, it's
just
no
an
techno.
asshole.
You mean you didn't get a techno virus that made him evil?
Oh, don't bring that up. Don't. I thought we were never going to bring that up on the show again. No techno virus.
Was that a thing that we set in motion? Don't talk about
Really?
that
I thought
anymore.
one time we did. I was like, no, I don't want to ever do it.
I think I'd rather talk the island than talk about technovirus and trying to
Oh,
explore
I hate that fucking technovirus. No, you know what's another good thing is we said we never, speaking of Beastman and his potential, see, it would be cool. I mean, not cool if we could bring even stories of have Beastman showing and highlighting in a recent comic. It doesn't have to be just, because he was in the original wave. Fuck, I'm like, no, bring him to the forefront and show his potential. It's almost like an Underworld. Was it Underworld, Tyler? The one where they were going underground to try to find the secret entrance to Castle Grayskull?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And remember Beastman, while fighting, was also summoning that one creature that was coming from underground. It's like, this guy can fight and control shit at the same time. Do you realize how dangerous that is? And also how cool the stories could be if you make a proper one with Beastman? It's just so much untapped potential with Beastman and a lot of characters, like when you were talking about Merman too.
So many. Well, think about Clamp Champ. You could tell a story about him. And I know this will sound shitty too, but given how they like to do this, you could easily manipulate it to be like, here's an African American man. You could build it up to where it's like he worked his way through the ranks and he reached this upper echelon and he's like this great warrior. And you can make
another character that didn't get because he didn't get a proper mini.
I always wanted to make.
Where did we get it?
I like how Joe's just like.
Well, just to say, he did get his. They gave him an origin from the UK comics of how he became King Randor's bodyguard. But again, we didn't get that here in the United States.
Exactly.
We never got
I mean, you guys didn't see that until it popped up on the org all those years after the fact. Like
we didn't know about all those UK stories. Yeah. Right.
But that could be something that you could use, that if you want to have that message in there, you could make that work and be like, look at this strong African American man that worked his way up the ranks, and he's this amazing fucking badass motherfucker that will just like kick everybody and punch everybody. Don't fuck with him.
He catches a fucking arrow from like Ninja or shooting there, and he catches that. It's like, God damn, how did you get to this level? How cool would that be for an origin story to see how did Clamp Champ come to be so fucking badass?
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations that he went through to become Clamp Champ. Yeah, so this guy with all these super reflexes and badass as shit fucked over in the new cartoon too. Whatever. No sense is there.
Well, like Ninjor, you can take that because ninjas are shrouded in mystery. If you want to peel back the curtain a little bit, you can do that. If you want to still kind of make it a mystery, if you want to elaborate that it's not just him. There's like a clan of other ninjas that are out there, and what's the deal with that?
I would establish the white ninja found out where he was transported and goes after Ninjor. Like he's on a mission to capture Ninjor for the crimes he's committed against his ninja clan, or for whatever other reason. Obviously Ninjor was forced to against his will, but I like the idea of linking these two guys together. Like I just feel like you need to have that yin and yang ninja. You got your Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Why not have Ninjor and I don't know, White Lightning or something like. I don't know what you call this.
No, don't do White Lightning.
No, I'm just making shit up. Something to do with this color scheme. Hell, I don't know.
So it's like I like Snake Eyes and
Storm Shadow, Black Dragon and White Dragon and Rambo.
Classic.
Yeah, that is the thing that everyone who enjoys action films in the 80s, ninja films especially, can all appreciate that. Is it cliche? Yes, but there's still so much fun to be had with two ninjas in the world of He-Man. And that could be a complete one-off too. Like then that could be a Clamp Champ, teaming up with this new white ninja story because he has this ongoing feud with Ninjor, and this new guy shows up trying to stop him. Like, who the hell are you? And they befriend each other because they have a common goal of taking down Ninjor.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Something like that.
Tyler,
that'd be cool. I want to read that.
Yeah, it would. It'd be awesome. But I had a question about that Errol McCarthy art, the one that had the, as we say, white ninja or fucking samurai. Were those pictures colored in, or they weren't colored in originally?
No. Every single
one
of them were black and white.
And that's what I'm thinking. I was like, do we know he would have been white?
Well,
could have
been
been
the thing
red.
is, at least there's no shading on his outfit. So it looks like it could be more prominently white, whereas everyone else has got shading in their outfits. Like the Whiplash with extended net has at least color shading, and you clearly know he's using reused mosquito and trap jaw parts. So.
No, true. It's just I've noticed that even sometimes when they have characters that have a really dark blue or certain kind of blues, they have to do a weird kind of shading in reverse. So I don't know what his color scheme would have been, but either way, yeah, I'm sure it would have been dynamic where he probably would have came after Ninja, or maybe he could have even been with Ninja to try to bring him back to his fucking. Hey, think about that, because remember, Ninja. He's not going to go back until Skeletor lets him. Remember, he was like, if you guys can help me, I'll send you back. But then he said, only after I conquer, like, Eternia. But Skeletor maybe was going to keep Scareglow there and Ninjor there forever. Maybe Ninjor wanted to go back to his fucking home world. Somehow maybe one from another dimension could have came to try to bring him back. There's so many fucking potential stories out there. It's so great. It's like, goddamn. That would have been cool to see something happening from Ninjor's world. And it doesn't have to be a ninja from Earth, because I know everybody's like, what's a ninja doing on Eternia? It's like, look at his fucking feet. It's alien feet. You can have the concept of thinking, hey, not only Earth has to have a ninja. I'm sure there's other worlds, universes where there's different types of creatures and beings, like, for fuck's sake.
He just shows up. Someone shows up. It's like, I got a secret. Ninjor, he's a caveman.
Yeah. He's like, no, he's a freak. Because they were all like cheering him on. It's an Encino Man reference, and people don't know what Nathan's talking about.
Go watch Encino Man. If you haven't watched Encino Man, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, I never pulled back his hood all the way. I could just see the face, but I always knew that Ninjor and Clamp had different faces. Do you know how many people I seen in a lot of these toy groups always saying, hey, they got the same face? I was like, did you ever fucking look at these two?
You mean Jitsu and Ninjor?
Yeah.
You said Clamp.
I'm sorry.
And
my bad.
One is a black man. The other one is Asian.
Well, it's Joe.
My brain. See what happens when I'm running 100 miles an hour. Meant to say Jitsu, but people said Jitsu and Ninjor had the same exact face. I was like, those are two different head sculpts, completely head sculpts. But there's so many people that thought it was the same thing, and I was like, they never really looked at that. And why would they just assume it was the same head? I never understood that.
I got the classic head of Ninjor because I got this from the Foosh where I have it being held in Ninjor's hand like as if he like decapitated somebody. Nice. But look at that head right there.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool because with the red eyes and everything.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just gonna say that it looks like Jitsu, then you're saying all Asian people look alike. Racist assholes, So
that was in their head. That drove me insane.
No, that looks. I mean, yes, they have facial hair that's similar, but they do not look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, their face sculpt is completely different. But a lot of people, I guess, I don't know. Maybe they never took back the hood.
Damn it!
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew it was gonna happen.
Do you have a joke moment?
What happened? My blade fell off the shelf there. I was trying to put the severed head back in Ninjor's hand here. Damn it!
That's why I'm always scared to touch my shit because I know I'm gonna do it. You know me. I grab something, everything's gonna fall.
Well,
I just now noticed, Joe, that you have Jason with his knife up to the New York oath.
Did I do that?
I think he's trying to say you sent tell Nathan something there.
No, Joe was talking about grabbing something and how everything kind of got. I was like, yeah, that's why you broke your toilet seat. That's also
he was flopping the bishop too hard and he just stepped on the toilet seat.
Also, I feel like we set.
I've never heard that. Flop the bishop.
We set a new record, I feel like, this week compared to other episodes that we've done recently where we managed to stay on topic for quite a while. But it's also a topic that warranted something that, like, it
required us to think. It wasn't like Joe asked us, what was the best stuff of 2021? You know.
The beauty of this is we can't tell if Joe's making a face right now under that mask. Like, you motherfucking piece of shit.
He's wording stuff.
Just assure, if you're mad at me, Joe, send me the message, not Nathan and Rebecca.
Hey, look at that. I always have a smile no matter what. That's all people ever see.
Well, we know he's smiling right now. You can tell he's smiling right now. But I really feel like, it's things like this that make the podcast so much fun, though. Like, it's stuff that we have often talked about, but never really stopped to think, wait. What if we had to work with this? Like, I think even taking the Princess of Power toys, if the line was still going, take the rooted hair out, put it in plastic hair, and market those towards boys. I'd have bought a Frosta and a Glimmer and a She-Ra if they were packaged with the Master of the Universe Exploding Rock, you know, and incorporate those characters into the mini comics along with the Horde as well, and cross promote for the boys.
I'm surprised they didn't do that. You know.
Well, they wanted to.
It bothered me as a kid that my She-Ra didn't look like how she did in the cartoon.
I'd have bought it if I didn't feel like I was going to be made fun of because the packaging was all pink.
Yeah, I've heard a few guys say that, like, they wanted She-Ra, but they would have to bribe a girl to get it for them or something, or, you know.
It was a lot of groups had that. I've seen a lot of debates on that because some people said, well, would you have bought them if it was plastic hair? Some said yes, some people said no. Either way, I don't care. I would have got it. I got them with the rooted hair.
I think that the main thing is, like, the packaging also, it's very pink.
It was the packaging.
It's got frills and glitter and on it and everything.
It was sold in the Barbie aisle, wasn't it, with the Golden Girl line?
It was because getting Evelyn and Taylor was a big deal to have those as a kid. So it wasn't about, I can't play with the girl toy, even though they always say boys are not likely to buy the girl characters, and the girl characters always end up being some of the more harder ones to find at times. But you know, if it didn't feel like such a dork to want to buy a She-Ra and a Frosta. Because when you're 3 and 4 years old and you see something that clearly is for girls, you're like, I can't get that. It's for girls. It's not meant for me. You know, that was the same day when I saw this in Toys R Us that I went and had the decision between getting Beastman and Jackalman from Thundercats. Was the day I saw that large display of She-Ra toys at our Toys R Us in Roanoke, Nathan.
And you went with Jackalman, right?
I went with Jackalman, and on the way home, I was like, "Oh my god, I regretted that."
Yeah, buyer's remorse, even that young.
Yeah.
The She-Ra figures were in with around the Thundercat figures? Cause
no. Like when you walked in, which I don't know if most Toys R Us were set up this way, but when you walked in, they would have an assortment of different displays set up. And it was like almost like a maze because the action figures were in the back of the store. But when you walked in, you had to kind of corkscrew around, and there's a big shelf display of She-Ra stuff. That's all I remember was seeing nothing but pink She-Ra and the Princess of Power logo and everything. Looking at the figures like, oh man, cast a spell, and it was just. But I had to do it silently because you're like, it's a girl toy. I'm like, damn it!
That's kind of a
bummer. It was. It was so cool to see all those wonderful characters I've seen in the cartoon. Like, I can't get this stuff.
That's why I wish they had gone more with the Golden Girl route, where the boxes were pink, but it wasn't all pink, and then you had this beautiful artwork on it that it was just more badass looking, and they looked more barbaric. Yeah,
which is messed up because
they did have rooted hair still, but they looked more badass.
But they didn't look
girly.
so Barbie doll like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, less girly.
Even though I got some of the vintage She-Ra figures. Well,
where are they? They're not in here.
No, they're
somewhere. Hey, you don't have them.
Yes,
I
got my cast spell and my Frost and my She-Ra, and I got Bo.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also got to think like that was Mattel too. You know, they want to pattern that more after Barbie, but also as a kid I was in a different headspace because I really liked Jim and the holograms as a kid. Like, I would take the dish towel from the kitchen. And I would, like, find a way to tie it around my waist. I don't know why I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking it's, like, Jim's, like, skirt or something. Yeah. And I would sit there, and I would watch Jim, and I'm just, like, singing the songs. So, whatever. I guess I was
I think everybody watched Jim and had no problem watching Jim.
I thought the girls were hot. I thought the Mystics were
bitches. It's an awesome show, man. Like, Jim and the Holograms, doesn't get its due. I think Hasbro's really dropping the ball with wanting to re-release anything Jim related because I think
especially as much as they try to market like girls are always trying to be singers on social media and shit.
Like if they came out with a line that was similar to Marvel Legends and what they did with the Power Rangers Lightning line, where if they came out with a Jim line, I'd buy all of them because it would. Fuck, man, that show's great.
And they're all hot, too.
Let's see what you got, dude.
Oh, I was just going to do a comparison. So it's like Frosta. Yeah, she's beautiful. I obviously like her because it's a girl.
She's my favorite.
But, like, compared to the Dragon Queen...
That's badass.
That's a drastic difference right there.
That's like Bull Nakano shit right
Right.
there. You
Under
know?
Molicano, yeah, she was big. And I'm glad you showed those there, Rebecca, because I mean, and it's what you said about the box art. Now, for Princess of Power, it was like you said, a lot of pink, and yes, Golden Girl had some pink too. But it's the way they did it. Okay, we had She-Ra and Swiftwind on the card fronts of all the She-Ra figures, but
Right.
the way they did it for Golden Girl, I love how it was. Like the main character looking savage as hell, looking very barbaric, and then the figure next
Yep.
to it in like a window box, the Golden Girl name above it, but it's like it wasn't dominated by pink, but it looked like it was.
Yeah, you almost just had one side that was pink. The whole box was pink.
Yeah, it was just, it's such an intense line, but every character, they kind of look like ass kickers. I mean, some were wearing capes, the majority wearing capes. It was like, these look like warriors, and I don't know why. Did they ever explain, because I don't know if you ever researched, why did Golden Girl fail so quickly, and then here came
I don't
She-Ra?
know
'Cause Golden
why.
Girl was,
Why
yeah,
it
because she
failed.
was first, for those that know. Golden
Yeah,
Girl
she
was
was.
first. But you didn't ever hear of why she just...
Well, I mean, they
There's-
did say that girls were watching He-Man, so
There wasn't a
making that
cartoon
connection.
attached to it. I feel like
Oh,
that's
yeah, that
probably
probably
the
helped either.
biggest
Yeah.
deterrent for that. If you don't,
I'll be honest, I never seen the line at the store. I'll be honest, I seen She-Ra, but I never seen the Golden Girl line at the store, and that's one that I probably would have picked up.
and
I wouldn't care,
you
because,
know,
like-
you can believe Joe on that because he was 34 years old when all this was in its prime, so he would know.
know. he had the money to do it.
Once upon a time, what
Yeah.
Joe wasn't pinching pennies and putting lasagnas in the dishwasher.
He evolved into that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
We,
like
we
the
could
birth
turn
of a
Joe
supervillain.
into
Putting
like
lasagnas in
that
the
sympathetic
dishwasher.
villain.
What kind of villain?
Like the sympathetic villain. Like something happened along the way that made him who he is today, you know?
Yeah, like he got a bad stock tip. Like Joe's like, you know,
He was supposed to invest in Apple when the Macintosh came out, and he didn't do it. He went with IBM instead, and it worked
he
out
thought
for a
Apple
little
was
bit.
some kind of fruit company, like Forrest Gump.
And he
He
went
pulls out.
He went against the food back then, and that's why he's so attached to food now.
Yeah, because food is what got him through all those dark days of, you know, oh my God. He has like that old like stock ticker, like Mr. Burns, like, oh my God, you know, just like seeing it should just go down the can.
Oh, Joe.
And Joe's on top of a roof, like, I swear I'll do it.
I don't know how it happened.
And no one's paying attention to him. He's like, well, fuck this. And
I was never deprived
so
of
it's-
food, so I don't get it. But go ahead, Rebecca.
no,
forget what I
we're
was
saying
gonna
that you became a fan of food after you were deprived of all the riches and fame you had of being a stockbroker on Wall Street. And you were the inspiration for Gordon Gekko in Wall Street, but they didn't want to give you credit for it because, you know, they'd have to pay you this ridiculous fee because back then you weren't a cheap bastard. You were an expensive asshole. Now they would just pay you, you know, peppermint patties or some shit like that, like the little like the quarter size, you know, and maybe $2
I really
to
don't
walk
like sharing
around
food.
on.
That's terrible. That really is terrible. That's my one problem. Isn't that bad?
Even if you're on a date, if she goes to reach for your fries, you're like, all right, that's it. I'm cutting you off.
It's
Date
never
is
happened.
over.
No, that's never happened. I had somebody
Are you
reach
like
for
Keith
one of my
David at
food-
Men at Work, Nathan? I mean, Joe, like there's some certain things in life you don't do. And one thing is another man's fries. You know, he like cracks Emilio's like wrist. When I can
I've
see
had
Joe
somebody-
doing that.
No, and it was fries. It was somebody in my family went for fries, and I,
Well, family's
just
one
Oh
thing.
yeah,
If you're on a
didn't
date
you
with-
stab him with a fork or something?
Did you?
He did. I think I remember the
He's
story.
silent. Look at him, he's silent. He
He
doesn't want to make
stabbed
fun
him
of
with a
Rebecca that he
fork.
stabbed another human being over
But it was
fries.
not intentional to hurt anybody. It was just to get them away from my food.
Well, so you deliberately stabbed him, even though it wasn't intentional, but you said it was done to get them away
Yeah,
from
how
your
does
food.
that
So-
work? It was. Hey man, I didn't mean it that way. You know, I just had the fork in my hand and I just happened to.
And, you know, you were going
violently
towards the
stab
food there,
you
and
in
one
the
thing led to
hand.
another.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was like kind of a motion, a swat of a hand with the fork, but
No,
you
you stabbed
paying
him.
They weren't like there with the fork sticking out of their hand.
Man, could you just see Joe right now? He was just like, he would be like Tom Cruise in Collateral. It's like, you killed that guy. It's like, no, I shot him. The bullets in the fall killed
Oh,
him.
killed him.
Yeah.
You stabbed him. Like, no, I saved my fries.
Oh God, I just don't like
the
people
fork. The
touching
fork
my.
stabbed him.
Where was this at? Where was this at? Paint a picture, Joe. Put us in the scenario.
No, that was at one of the family get-togethers when there's all the free food. Everybody's putting out food. Most people talking.
I can imagine they're charging you for the food at a family gathering.
Yeah, but if
well,
it's...
you know what? Yeah, you know what I mean. So there's lots of stuff. There's lots of different
what
buffets.
family function have you been invited to there, Joe? Where it's like a $5 entry fee to get into the house.
No, that's what Joe does to the rest of his family.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I know it was around 4th of July because that's the only time we do the burgers, the hot dogs, the fries, all the other shit. Because on the other holidays, it's always lasagna, there's shrimp, and there's, the food that I love.
Was it made in a dishwasher?
While they're talking.
Was all this made in a dishwasher?
No dishwasher shit. Yeah, I'm never going to do a lasagna.
Can the Impact X Division champion, Trey McGill, attest to this story, or was he too young at the time?
No, yeah, he was...
Probably wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, I don't think he was born at that time.
Okay, so yeah, we're going way back.
Oh, wait. One story he can attest to is we got hooked on these. It was like these peanut butter chocolate chip frosted cookies that somebody in our family was making that was real good. So we had a gathering, and he knew
How many people did you kill, Joe?
No. This was hilarious, and I love always giving him shit about it because he was kind of pissed. But then I gave him some. What happened was she was making them, and he was like, "Uncle Joe, let me know when she puts those out because I'll be ready to eat them." I was like, "Okay," because he was going outside. We were going back and forth between getting barbecue, coming back inside. So he went outside, and sure enough, she had them ready. So I locked the screen door, but you could see through it. I said, Trey, come here. And I was holding the whole tray, and I was eating them, and he pulled and it was locked. He was like, "Open it. Open the fucking door! Open the fucking door!" I was like, "Oh, these are good."
You would do that. Oh man! But he's a good guy, everybody.
He loves. I am a good guy, but he always loves the story. So he ran his ass quickly to the side of the house to go to the front. I ran to the front door and locked it there and started eating them again. He was like, "Would you open the fucking door?"
Is his mom just letting you sit there and eat all the food?
Well, there's everybody. No, that's what I mean. It was a gathering with everybody in the family. So, it was fantastic. And eventually, I let him in and gave him to him. And he just snatched them. He was like, "Can't believe you did that." Because we hoard those chocolate frosted cookies. Me and him do the hoarding together on that. But I went to town. Oh, that was great.
Yeah, but see,
Joe was probably looking at people at that table saying, "I'm gonna stick my salad part right in their jugular, just so we can, have their damn buttered roll."
Yep. Wait, no, but it's not butter roll. It's a stick of butter and a roll.
Yeah.
You got to keep them separate.
Oh shit!
How
I'm
much
glad you
love
asked
was
that. That was
probably
a good memory.
on that kitchen table or the dinner table?
But see, now Trey has skipped the patriarch of the family. He's to the forbidden door over here. Trey's the head of the table. He's the Roman Reigns now, right? So Joe, you gotta take a step back.
Not when it comes eating, and plus when we do the hot challenges, you've seen the hot challenge. I still fuck with him on that. I'm doing that. So
yeah,
he
was the whole time. He's like, "I'm just gonna rip your fucking mask off." So yeah.
Yeah, and I was worried he was. I was like, because I thought we were just recording it, and he was gonna put it up. He did the live stream.
That was live. That was live on Instagram.
And then I was nervous. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I kept thinking. So I was a little twitchy. That's why I was sitting back a little bit.
When are you never not though?
Yeah.
Well, clearly, Joe, he was much bigger than you, so it wasn't a hell of a lot you're gonna do if he decides to snatch that mask off your face there. So
yep. He'll put you in a cravat and hold it until you pass out.
I thought he was gonna grab the mask the whole time.
Or Joe's got a spork in the other hand that we don't see.
Yeah, I mean,
spork his ass.
Maybe that's the whole dynamic too. Is like he's put the fear of God in Trey. That Trey
or Trey has seen his Uncle Joe fighting a lot of switchblade knife fights in back alleys of
parts unknown
Ohio.
Yeah.
Joe with his slick back hair and his toothpick in his mouth there.
Yeah, he was there that time when Coupon King wasn't going to cooperate, and he's like, "All right, motherfucker."
Yeah, he pulls the blade out there. It's like West Side Story.
It's not a switch. It's a spork. It's a spork. The most dangerous.
Sport blade knife.
Yeah. Man.
Shit, my trusty sport, goddamn.
Right, Joe's going around like a greaser. Now there's a version.
It's like
of
the Outsiders with Joe.
Right? Yeah, Joe was like the Ralph Macchio and the Outsiders. There, Pony Boy.
There we go. Maybe that's why he's still. Maybe that's why he hates him so much.
Was Thomas C. Howell.
Yeah.
Johnny, or was it Johnny? Because
I don't. It's been so long since I've watched the Outsiders.
I got the damn movie.
I just remember that fucking what's his name, Josh Peterson. He looked like he came from the Outsiders when we were in freshman year.
Oh yeah,
He's wearing his white
really,
t-shirts. Yeah, he had like that Andrew Garfield hair, wearing like the white t-shirts and the shit. He was wearing like skinny jeans before they were like cool.
Well, because he was super skinny too.
Yeah.
Like puffy hair that was coiffed.
Yeah, I'm just like, holy fuck, man! You came right out of The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like he fucking switched allegiances. He's like, I'm gonna be a redneck now. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Wasn't that so weird back in the day when someone who was either like a generic person or a preppy kid and they start wearing the Carhartt stuff? And,
Yeah.
And the
Really?
camo
They,
hunting
like,
jackets.
convert?
Yeah, no, they would do that. They would.
I love these- like they changed religions in high school.
Well, I mean, hey, Newt
It's so weird that
Newt was homeschooled, so
Oh, I know.
She
but
doesn't
it's
understand,
I love
like,
how
the-
she says, like, did he convert to redneckism? And
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they
They
would
have-
do this.
I
they go to
never
the
heard of
altar.
somebody
They have
converting
to
to
drink
redneckism.
Mountain Dew and take a dip of skull
Yeah,
instead of like
take
communion.
some wintergreen, stuff it in their mouth. Wintergreen long cut, baby. Yeah, they
Yeah, a
would
sip
do
of
that.
ice cold Mountain Dew.
Yep.
they
Take-
brought out
finish the bottle
their wife beaters on like a pillow.
Well, see that
and then wipe their ass with their hat.
No, see, that was only when that Everlast song came out. If I know what it's like. And then that's when they would wear the wife beaters, even though they were rednecks. They're like, oh, it's kind of rap, and I kind of like it, but I'm redneck, can't you tell? But they would do that all the time. You would see people, it's like, oh, well, now they're going to try to look like a popular kid. They're gelling their hair. They're wearing their Tommy Hilfiger
Baggy
jeans. You would see some kids like go goth and they'd be like, I'm gonna rip up Bibles and like fucking wear
yeah.
lap
Paint
lipstick.
blood on my hands
Yeah,
to
see,
make
I've
it look
heard
like I
of,
split
like-
my wrist and shit.
Oh,
Like,
like what's his
Goth
face?
face, but not a fucking redneck face.
No, it happened all the time around here. You'd be like, oh my
Wow.
god, you're a redneck now. It's like what happened with Josh Peterson. I'm like, dude, you were in The Outsiders. Now you're doing Deliverance. What's going on here?
And they always look like they never bathe. All of them. You know, they
Yeah.
always come to school like clothes are dirty. They get grease in their hair. They just
Ew.
look like they've never seen a hot shower in their life.
But they weren't actually working on a farm. They're just pulling a
No.
Danny from Hey Dude, and they're just throwing dirt on their pants.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Fuck.
they love to hang out with the security guards because most of them were redneck country boys too. So they would allow them to like dip and shit.
Yeah, fucking
You know?
posers. We went to
Yeah.
school with a lot of posers, man.
The whole school was nothing but posers.
Yeah, that's true. Tyler always stayed true to himself, other than like doing the hair gel thing and not letting people mess with his hair.
Yeah, that's just to keep what my scrap of confidence I had there. But it was all about
But
liking
then I would
toys
tear
and
him
watching
down.
movies and reading comics. But yeah, it didn't take much to tear down my toothpick tower of
Mhm.
confidence there back in high school.
Yeah,
Which
that's
Nathan
true.
would come by and just kick it out from under me. Oh, look, he's fucking, he likes, motherfucker likes Prince.
Yep, good
Every
times.
damn day.
Yep, good times.
I mean, it is annoying when people mess with your hair.
Well, see, no one was going to go over to Nathan to mess with his hair, even when he had like really short hair or he had like, really long hair.
yeah, but
no one's gonna go
my
over.
hair is not. My hair's always been what it is. I can't like I don't style my hair. It just,
Well, I took less than 20 seconds to do what I do to my hair every day. Back then it was like,
oh,
Okay,
I
yeah.
remember, sir.
yeah,
Like it was every hair was in the place that it needed to be.
I remember the girl I dated in high school was like when we were watching 10 Things I Hate About You, and we saw Joey Donner like look at himself in the mirror. And she goes,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's
that reminds me of somebody."
Hey, tell me, which picture you think looks best? And it's Tyler in a
Yeah.
white shirt and Tyler in a black
Tyler
shirt
in
in
a
the
black
same
shirt,
pose.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Newt, you seen 10 Things I Hate About You?
No.
Oh,
Damn
go
it.
watch that. Please go watch that. It's such
Oh
a
my
good
god!
movie.
No, we know Joe hasn't.
No, yeah. I mean, he was 53
I've heard
years
of it.
old
I
when
just
it
not,
came out.
not seen it.
Well, Joe just seen "Don't Be a Menace to South Central" while we're drinking your juice in the hood. That's the only thing Joe's seen.
That's
That
a
don't
really good
don't
movie,
let your
though.
meat loaf.
That was a really good movie.
Of course he's gonna say that.
Joe, how many
Did
times have you
organize
watched
those
Meteor
Yeah.
movies?
Sega Genesis cartridges? Oh,
Joe,
sorry.
how was your trick or treat movie?
Oh yeah, he didn't
That
watch
was-
it. He didn't watch it.
No, I did watch it, but I didn't want to comment because I was
It's a
afraid
piece
you
of
guys would
fucking shit,
catch him.
Joe. Just admit
Well, it was only
Say
a buck. So
Joe,
But-
you could
So
have bought
that's
something to eat
okay
for
to waste
$1.
a bic on.
Hey, but at
That's
least
okay to waste $1 on, but you're not gonna.
waste $1 on a chick
Yeah.
that you go out on a date
Or
with.
donate 37 cents to a scholarship.
Yeah, or St. Jude. But you'd rather
How
spend
do I
that to
advise
go
people
towards a
to
shitty
scholarship?
DVD. All right.
Well, that's what I mean. How
That's
do I know
kinda
they're
guy
really putting
Joe
that in
is.
a scholarship? I think it's all a scam.
Yeah,
I
and
think
you
it's
just
a
thought, oh, well, look at
scholarship.
this cool cover with all these people on it. It's got to be good. It was $1.
But
Oh,
see,
but
now Joe
how-
can take it to a pawn shop and get 32 cents for it and then use that to get more sour cream for the next time he goes to Taco Bell.
I gotta find it. It's somewhere in a drawer, but I have
Wait,
the remnants
oh,
here.
I thought you were talking about the DVD. I'm like, how'd you already throw in a drawer and not know what you did
Tyler
with
should
it?
know what that sword is, real quick. You
Well,
recognize
I
the
can't,
sword?
I can't see it.
Oh, let me get close.
Oh!
No, well, not now. Well, no, I don't recognize it there, bud.
All right, well, this is Voltron Sword, but this is a pencil sharpener. And I remember I always got away with it. I have a Voltron figure that this goes onto the back of, and he holds a sword. And the teacher always would say, Joe, you're not supposed to have any toys in class. I was like, no, this is a pencil sharpener because the back of it is a pencil sharpener. But god damn it, I was cleaning through stuff today. I was like, I can't find my fucking Voltron figure. I didn't know if any of you guys ever remember that thing, but son of a bitch.
I don't
So
know
if
any
I don't-
Voltron as a kid.
I mean,
Oh.
the only Voltron shit I had were the curtains in my old bedroom as a kid that you're like, hey,
still
can you...
got
Parents haven't found them yet. So if they do, they're yours. If they do, they're yours.
All right,
I
well,
didn't
guys,
have
if you have any
Voltron
questions,
I like Joe's just like, oh, they got the questions.
Well, no,
Like
if
Newt
John,
trying to
John
chime
had
in with it.
Voltron, but I didn't.
see, John, that's some good taste. John's all right, man. He sticks up
Joe
for me.
is so
He's
quickly
cool
trying
with
to
me.
like
I'm like,
steamroll
everybody else
anything
is-
Newt had to say
everybody
about
else
her
is-
take
No,
on
I didn't.
Voltron.
No, I said
talking
I
so
don't like
fast.
this.
Well,
No,
but before Joe tries to
Joe, do you
backtrack
hate
and
women? Is that why you're
Shut
such
up.
a cheapskate,
Shut up,
on
bitch.
dates with them, making
Shut
them pay for their own
shut up,
food?
bitch! Did you hear that?
Shut
Tyler,
up,
you heard that, right?
I'm not. I mean, it makes sense he would say something like that because Joe hates women.
God damn.
Before
Him and his short tip, or tit, yeah,
Well, hit us
that's what
with
it was. Yeah.
questions while Nathan
Well,
says
no,
something. You guys
before Joe gets to his questions, because it's been mentioned in the chat, and I'm sure someone's probably noticed it on the screen. But hey, let's pour one out for Bob Saget, who
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
passed
I
away.
just
Like
heard about that.
it's nuts, man.
Literally, like minutes before I came on here.
yeah.
Here's to you, America's dad.
America's Funniest Videos every Sunday night
I
on
mean,
ABC back in the day. I
Despite-
watched that shit.
He's died like an hour away from us.
Yeah.
He's in Orlando, Florida.
Well,
He was doing a tour too. He was doing stand-up comedy. He'd only done two shows.
He
and died right
just
after
did
the
a
second.
set the night before.
he had some raw comedy.
That
boy.
was-
His stand-up.
That was the
weird.
beauty of it. It's like, here's Danny Tanner, and he's just talking real nasty. It's kind
Yeah,
of
that's really-
it's like how Joe presents himself to be like a Danny Tanner, but he's actually the stand-up Bob Saget. You know?
No,
Yeah.
I'm, you know, a nice
No,
guy. I'm not
no,
bad. I
no.
don't yell it.
Joe, we all heard
You
what you've
stab
done.
people with forks and steal from them and steal
No,
from your
that's-
girlfriends and
Take advantage of like
I was-
poor drunk women.
No, I was just a kid when I stole the figure, but I gave it back to her. So I don't want
15
people
years
thinking I'm like-
later, sir.
I'm not.
15 years
I'm-
later. 15 years. It wasn't
Ah,
like
really?
a month. 15 years.
Yeah. No, it doesn't take 50 years for guilt to rise up there, Joe. Obviously, you didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
It, you know,
Much like what the girls tell you.
but it takes time to save up money, and I got her a figure, and I buy stuff. And I'm not, you know, I'm not a bad guy.
Joe's
Oh my
still
god,
trying to defend it. Like, Joe's not worried at all about
Is
his
he,
manhood
like,
being
he
questioned.
can't
He's
even
trying
do
to-
it anymore. Oh, man.
Joe's so concerned with not like, he's like the Eddie Guerrero of this podcast. He lies, he cheats, he steals. He's Italiano Heat.
There we go.
oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
Turbot.
All right.
Give us a new T-shirt for T-Public.
Modulock mask on Eddie Guerrero with the lie, cheat, steal shirt on. Done.
Yeah. Except
Done.
like he's driving around in the convertible, but it has like tires with like Band-Aids on them and shit like that, and
Yeah.
the windows are broken.
Yeah, it's all falling apart.
Yeah, skid
Oh.
marks
Gotta have
on
some
there.
Duct tape to hold stuff up.
Oh yeah.
But,
Whatever.
uh,
Yep.
but Bob Saget, thank you for Dirty Work. Amazing movie. Thank you for your cameo in Half Baked. That was hilarious as the cocaine addict. Full House, I know it's divisive, but shit, man, I watched it every week.
I did too, but I could care less about that show now. But I watched it religiously on TGIF and on Tuesdays also.
Being a neat freak, I related to that a lot because my mother is exactly like, she's like the female version of a Danny Tanner. In terms
Nathan's a neat freak too.
In
a good way. I mean that in the most positive sense. Nathan's a very his house, his car. It always is.
The car these days not so much, but the house.
Does it smell like Wendy's farts?
No. I mean, it might smell like farts every now and again because you gotta rip those out. But
I'm pretty sure mine has.
Well, yeah, that's when you go out on your dates and then like you hold your farts in for 6 hours and then you gotta go tear the seat up, as you say.
Yeah, I mean it's like a bear's got and then just tore onto the seat.
But except it wasn't your hand; it was your ass.
It was my ass. That's the power, that comes out of my ass. You can harness that power, Joe.
No sleep, no food, no nothing. Just many.
I'm actually a neat freak. Can you believe that? And that is true because not having much, I always take care of everything. Yeah, really. So I take care of everything as much as I can, and things are clean. So
except the women in your life.
What about the hookers, Joe? Do you take care of the hookers?
So, if you guys have any questions in the chat,
I'm sorry, Rebecca.
Put them down.
He doesn't respect women because he just dodges. He's like Todd Grisham. He dodges questions like he dodges the women. Women dodge him, not the other way around.
I'm very respectable. I wouldn't yell at no female and nothing like that, and that's true. No. So like I said,
you never make them pay for their own meal instead of hitting them, right, Joe?
No, I will. Like I said, I pay. I'm a good.
It depends on where you go, though.
Like I said, I pay. I'm a good guy. I don't, yell or nothing like that. I'm really a good guy. It just sounds insane.
Like on a Saturday night, like back in the late '80s. Like, did you guys go to the library to rent movies? Or did you go to a video store to rent movies? He had to think about it.
I don't think I ever did. No. I was sitting there thinking. I was like, I don't remember.
Never rented movies. We just stole them.
No, I don't. I don't remember movies at a library. I don't.
What do you mean you don't remember movies at a library?
No, we didn't know.
Even The Simpsons make reference to renting movies at the library.
No, yeah, but Joe never went to the
place
library.
I went was called. Yeah, I can't read. So Ben's Tropical Fish was the place we'd go to.
Place.
It was. Yeah, remember I told you.
Yeah, the fish store that was also a video store.
Yeah, it was great.
Everybody had a video store back then.
Yeah, it was like your own. It was just a little local one, but it was.
And I could tell what that place would smell like because we had a comic book store called the Hobby Shop that sold comics upstairs. Downstairs was a fish shop, and I know what a fish shop smells like. It smelled like fish food.
It was intense because it wasn't just. Yeah, they even had some of those gerbils, hamsters, but lots of fish. It was an intense smell, but I loved he would get all the stuff quicker sometimes than the other video stores. Real cheap prices, and he knew the family, so we got really good deals. But I would rent some of the movies, same things over and over just because, I just love the box art on some because, almost all the box art, they always did the paintings on for all that shit. Cool wall posters. Oh, man, I miss that place.
Who rented Backdoor Slut 6, you motherfucker? He's got a spork in his hand. Where is it?
No, you know what cracked me up? I think the one that made me laugh because it's a movie I've never seen, but I remember.
Was Whack Attack 6?
No, it was a Vanilla Ice movie that came
there.
Cool
as Ice. Come on, man.
It was a week. Yeah. I shit you not. It felt like it was a week or two after the theaters. It was that quick. I was like, "What's this doing here?" I was like,
"This is a piece of shit, but it's funny. It's a hilarious movie."
I've never seen it. I remember the trailers for it on TV.
It's so bad.
Funny. Yeah, it's hilarious.
It was the thing that I think I rented the most was a series of Deathstalkers and Toxic Avengers from there. I just was nonstop always getting those movies from that place over and over. It's just good fucking times. Oh, goddamn. What a shame. But yeah, so I never knew they did shit in the library. So, but shit. Well, I think we have rented
from the library.
I guess I'm the only one here that rented a VHS from the library.
I did.
I remember it.
Fairytale Theaters.
Me too. That's all I rented from there was Fairytale Theater.
I never did.
I can't remember anything else that I rented.
I remember
pricey?
No,
they're free.
They're free.
Yeah.
Free? Oh
yeah,
my
it's
God.
just like books. It's just like the book.
Joe's gonna get a time machine
It
now
has a
and
little
go
card
back.
in it.
Oh, Rebecca, if I would have known, holy shit!
That's why I
if
asked.
would've-
Joe has no idea why I would say rent in the library. Yeah,
I
it's free.
understand it. I thought you were just being a dick saying something stupid. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, I'm a dick.
Library?
I'm a dick all the time. You know that, but no, I'm being sincere. About renting. But they tend to be movies that were more
movies.
book. They were like Jason the Argonauts. You could rent from my library, which
Yeah.
was really cool. But it wasn't like you could go in there and rent the latest releases like Jurassic Park or Terminator 2 or something. It was stuff that would be considered on the more educational side or maybe based on books kind of thing. Like you're not, you probably would find some Pride and Prejudice bullshit or something like that in there too. But
okay.
Okay.
boy, the spinner racks like, oh boy, Jack and the Beanstalk or Three Little Pigs. God, I don't know which one I want to get to. Yeah. See, Rebecca knows what I'm talking about.
Before Joe has an aneurysm, Joe, go ahead. The questions, please.
We got one question, and I'll be good to wrap it up then, because it's almost that time where I got something. But
is it really? Oh my God, it is. Yeah. I got to bounce after this too. I got to go to bed.
That's why I was trying to wrap it. But Febmon had one question.
What kind of bullshit is this?
This is from Febmon. What rated R movie did you really want to see as a kid, but didn't see until you were an adult? Well, Febmon, any movie I wanted to see that was rated R, I seen when I was a kid.
Because he was old when it came out.
Yeah, he was already. He was 46 when these movies were out. So.
And he still lied about how that he was too young to get in anyway, so he get the kid discount.
Like Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, I seen all that stuff. It's like I was taught and known. Okay, yes, this isn't real. This killer is not real. And if there was boobs, like who gives a shit? There's boobs
But who scared you the most, Joe?
He hates women. See.
Yeah, but the Incredible Hulk is what.
Joe's like, there's no milk in there.
Yeah, it was the Incredible Hulk is what actually scared me. But as for horror characters, I was just I don't know. Amazed by them.
There are too many.
Rated R movies. Dad would cover my eyes when they were titties. That was the extent. Sex scene, eyes covered. But
I got so giddy. It's like that's what made you want to watch them over and over. That's why I love seeing those Deathstalkers. Like I know what I'm going to see right here. And every Friday.
I thought you didn't care about titties, Joe.
Fuck off. So anyway, and every Friday the 13th except Part 6, I was like, why? Why were there no boobs in Part 6? But every other one.
Because that movie was strong enough. It didn't need titties, Joe.
You had to have it was a trademark of the Friday the 13th series, and in Part 5 where it wasn't Jason, where it was Roy, that had the most gratuitous tit shot from that Deborah Voorhees, that's the name of the actress, who was in the forest, and they just showed her boobs over and over. Oh my God, as a kid, man,
Joe
you break
wore that tape out.
and the wrist too, both of them. God damn. Go ahead.
You went to a lot of sticks of butter that time, didn't you?
Oh shit!
He puts the whole stick of butter on it.
Oh, come on.
I'm in here buttering my ham.
Oh,
wow, damn, that was pretty graphic. I thought I was
great.
Rebecca's
Imagine like Joe's playing like the Edward Scissorhands music while he's in there flopping the bishop, maybe.
Yeah, the violin going crazy.
Yeah, the violin.
Yeah, the Danny Elfman score.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just play that scene where he's cutting hair for the first time in Edward Scissorhands. That's the music that Joe's beating off to.
I can't get that whole stick of butter out of my head. The thought of what she just said. Jesus Christ!
He took the butter and
now
up his
Joe's
ass.
reminiscing about the stick of butter.
Last Tango in
It has
Paris,
so many purposes.
Yeah, Last Tango in Paris.
Well, put butter up my ass.
What a piece of crap.
Yeah, that's Joe.
All right, well, Rebecca,
Joe
did you
over
have
on all
a rated
fours.
movie that you wanted to see as a kid, but
I'm
you
trying
couldn't?
to remember. Because for me, it was I didn't so much see trailers for things, but I would go into the video store and look at them. And of course, I would peek into the R-rated section and see what they had. And I always wanted to rent Silence of the Lambs.
Silence by the Lambs.
And Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I
Just by
always
the
remember
covers
trailers
alone.
for that on TV scared the
And
shit
I just
out
wanted
of
to
me.
see those. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Tyler?
Most of the Red Arrow movies I really wanted to see, I would get to see on VHS.
But then your dad would be like, "Turn that shit off."
Like I said, it was so inconsistent. My God, those times. But I remember
It's very
seeing
similar in our house.
It was getting to watch Terminator 2 on VHS, Predator 2 when it came out, Point Break. It was. I would see trailers for these movies, but never got to see them in theaters. I really can't say there was any rated R movie that I really wanted to see as a kid that I didn't get to see. that I didn't get to see until I was an adult. Because most of the ones I really wanted to see, I got to see them on VHS at some point in my before high school, like getting to see RoboCop in 6th grade, American Werewolf in London in 6th grade. By that point, I'd seen, a fair amount of Red Arrow movies, that even my dad would enjoy, and he wouldn't make us think about it. But my dad made us think about Beavis and Butthead. Like, he thought Beavis
that
and
was
Butthead.
that was PG-13 though.
No, but like the cartoon, like when the cartoon was coming out, and they were saying it was a bad influence
Well,
on kids, so he was all like after.
That was that whole hysteria that was involved with it.
Well, that and South Park, he thought South Park was, but this is based on the first season of South Park. He thought but then he's in there watching the episode Passion of the Jew by himself. Like, what's Dad in there laughing at? He's in there watching South Park by himself. It was just this. He bought into that nonsense you'd see on the news that it's dumbing down our country and it's wrong for our kids. I'm like, oh my God, Dad.
Yeah, my mom
don't buy
did too.
this shit.
My parents didn't give a shit. My dad was over here. He's like,
Yeah.
well, we're gonna watch Predator. We're gonna watch Lethal Weapon. We're gonna watch Terminator 2. We're gonna watch Terminator. Like,
going back to the inconsistency that Tyler was talking about, that's kind of like we were allowed to watch Predator, but we weren't allowed to watch like all of Legend. That makes no sense at all.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's how it
Because
was in
the
my
devil's
house.
scary. But here's him pulling a spine out of a guy. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. My mom
It made
and
no
dad
sense.
had no problem with that. And mom's explanation on this, well, that's an alien. That's made up. So I guess all this other stuff is real, right?
Yeah. Goblins. Darkness. The
boy.
devil.
Yeah, but watching
So
Clash
that's
of the
all
Titans and Perseus cuts off Medusa's head, I saw that when I was 4 years old.
But
no
also,
issue with that.
but in Clash of the
Yeah.
Titans, there's also titties at the beginning.
Yeah, but I saw that on TV though. Like, so that part was.
Okay.
But I saw that in '88. So if the titties were on there, I just didn't think anything of it because
You're just
I'm
like,
not.
oh yeah, it's titties.
All I was like, where's Medusa at? That's all I cared about when I watched that movie the first time. So, you just you had to deal with it. A lot of you guys had it made where you didn't have to worry about being fussed at.
Yeah,
or
Joe,
watching something.
virtual high fives. Me and Joe.
Yeah.
That's right.
Come on,
That's right.
yeah, high
Hard
fives,
because getting to watch those movies without being fussed at meant everything in the world.
Yep. That's why I would hide under the couch and watch him.
Yep. Or if it was a big deal, like my dad wanted to see it too, like when Terminator 2 came out, and my pawpaw rented it, so we went up to their house. And I didn't know they had it, and Dad really wanted to see it, and he's like, "All right, Tyler, I'll let you watch it, but just promise me you don't say anything that you hear." And then we're like, "Yes, sir, Dad." We sat and watched it, and blew my mind away. Like, it was unbelievable.
That's
Sitting with my Uncle Roger, my pawpaw, my dad, and me sitting in their den in the woods watching Terminator 2. Man, it's fucking awesome.
Terminator is better than Terminator 2.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Just got to throw that out there. Edward Furlong,
Definitely.
he just derails Terminator 2.
Oh, no,
for me.
I like him, but Terminator is just a superior film over Terminator 2. It
Yeah.
just repeats the same beats of the first film.
Yeah.
But people say it's this, I mean, it's a great film, but it's by no means anything lackluster.
No,
but
I'm not
it's the
saying
first film all over again.
I'm not saying it's shit, but just Terminator is just way better.
Yeah. Arnold as a villain is better than Arnold as a hero as
He's
a
so
Terminator.
good in
But
that.
even though it works, because at the end of Terminator
and I cry
2,
every time I watch Terminator 2 because that's why I can't watch it. I
oh,
don't want to
really?
cry.
Really?
As an adult, I'm like, I can't watch this shit.
What a...
Brad Fidel's score pulls in my
Come on,
heart
Joe.
strings. What
Come
can
on,
I
Joe.
say?
What do you want to call him? Come on, say it. Don't make me say it.
I don't call.
Oh
people
yeah, I
names
forgot.
on this
You're a good
podcast.
guy. You're a
I'm
good guy.
gentleman.
You're a good guy. You don't
I
hate women.
never-
Well,
I get it.
hey, Nathan, why don't you ask Rebecca to call me something? Then?
There you go, Rebecca.
Yeah.
What you got? No, wait,
do you
no,
want
no,
me to call
no, no, wait, no, shit, no.
What?
He tricked me.
Fall right
He
into
tricked
it.
me.
Oh my God.
He did the Bugs Bunny deal to me. Oh man.
I was just like,
shit.
she's not going to call me anything derogatory.
no.
And they'd be like, yeah, what are you going to call him? Do it.
Well, shit. Well, I think we are past
Joe
our
fell
time.
asleep. I think we weren't
So-
talking about
Yeah,
you,
we
Joe,
bored him
enough.
to
I'm
death.
sorry.
Can you just
That's
go
right.
get his
Don't-
butter?
He's got to get
That's right. I gotta get to the butter and I gotta take care of business.
Well, Adam
yes.
Gabbard asked, "Can I see your shirt? Is this still up, Joe, on your store?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go
I
get this.
think.
Go
Let me
get
check.
Man at Arms
It's-
being super sad because it's man days.
And I'm
It looks
still
like he's
blown
holding
away.
in shit. Is
Powerful.
that what you do, Joe? Or do you penguin walk?
No, powerful still
He
keeps
just
selling
shits
like
on the
crazy.
floor.
Yeah,
That
just
Shima
shakes it
shirt
out.
still sells, Rebecca. It's like my #1 seller. Every time I go to my emails, it's like, you made a sale on TeePublic. I look powerful every time. It's wow. So, all right. But if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you can always be notified
He
when
kept
we go
the
live. And
conversation
until
going
next
long enough to
time,
put himself over, and then
have
Buy
a
Joe's
powerful
shirts.
day.
Powerful day. Where's the quote?
quote is, "How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit? You should carry that shit, Hudson."
It's right there in the
Yeah,
quote.
it's Hudson.
Oh,
Joe?
well, what is it?
Joe's seen it, right?
Maybe part of it.
Oh yeah,
What's
Joe's
wrong?
seen
I
it.
don't
Joe's
know.
seen
Yeah,
it. Joe said he's seen it.
one time.
What? Hudson Hawk? I don't know. Is that it?
Hudson Hawk. Yeah, that's what it
That's
is.
what it is with Bruce Willis. Wasn't that like a quasi musical, or am I thinking about something else?
I still never seen it because I've heard so many bad things about Hudson Hawk, and there was an Nintendo game too.
What was
Yeah,
this?
probably a piece of shit. Hudson
Hudson
Hawk
Hawk.
with Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
I want to
and
say
Andy
I want to
Dowd.
say it was a
That-
musical because that's when he was like balls deep in his "Oh, I'm Bruno." and
Bruno.
doing the singing career bullshit thing with his harmonica and whatnot.
Aliens? That's what JSP
Yeah.
said?
Yeah,
Yeah,
aliens. I was gonna say,
I
for
like
Beck-
how Joe's like it's what JSP said. It's not my actual answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't fucking know.
You said you
All right.
saw it.
Well, I seen half
You
of
said
it
you
at the
watched
end when
it.
he
You
was.
told me you would watch it.
Yeah, you said.
Well, I'll watch
Well,
the
you
rest.
said
I
you
promise.
liked
Rebecca, you know he doesn't
You liked
respect
me
women's
to-
opinions.
I'm sorry. I'll catch it. I swear. I will. See you guys next time.
You beat women.
That's how we're gonna end the show.
Uh,
No. Joe.
And Joe's got to issue like a public apology.
No,
on
and then
Facebook
we
Live.
have like this little ticker tape at the bottom. Joe Amaro does not beat women, but he really likes hookers. See you next time.
He likes beating hookers.
No, man, no. Joe loves hookers. Joe loves women. Man, everyone's
Too
gonna
much.
get the wrong idea. Now he's gonna be messaging us. I haven't put the splash screen up yet. We're still live.
Yes, Joe loves everybody, especially women. He loves
He treats them like queens. He takes them to Dairy Queen, in fact. Chicken strip baskets. Tyler's
Nothing
old
but the
favorite.
best.
He used to
yeah,
love chicken
and,
strip
and a
baskets.
brownie earthquake for dessert. That's
mm,
the chicken strip basket. God, I was a fatty back then.
Blizzards are good.
Blizzards are good.
Everything from Dairy Queen's good. Their burgers are good. Blizzards are good. The brownie
Dairy
earthquake,
Queen
the
have
soft
food.
serve ice cream.
Mm.
We just have the ice cream. We don't have any of the food. I went on a mission trying to find that
How do you
free
have,
Dairy.
you of all people don't have Dairy Queen food? No burgers? No hot
No
dogs?
kid. Tyler, that pissed me off. They advertised on TV like this delicious looking burger and this combo meal. I was like, I'm gonna try this out. So I drove to the Dairy Queen that was down the road, and they said, we don't have burgers. It's like the commercial said it. They're like, no, we're a location that doesn't. You could go 3 miles down this other way to the other
Well,
one.
that's
I went to
3
the other one.
miles.
They didn't have. But I went to that one. They didn't have it. For some reason in Toledo, Ohio, none of our Dairy Queens have food. It's just the ice cream.
You're supposed to
You
say
know it
parts
wasn't gonna
unknown,
look like
and
it
we're still
did on the-
live.
You knew it wasn't gonna look
Yeah.
like it did on the commercial.
Well, it looks I know, but still look delicious. I was like, I'd like to have that food. I want food. I want to eat.
Joe,
It'd be
when do
like
you
the
not
scene in
want
Falling Down. We were like, this is the one I'm talking
Look at
about.
this squash thing.
I don't think Joe would care.
I was really pissed. I was like, there's no food at this Dairy Queen. Oh, and there's no food at this Dairy Queen. But all they have is the ice cream. I didn't get the ice cream, needless to say, because I was hungry. So, all right. See you guys next time. I got to go
James
pee.
is the one. Well, you guys can just eat my ass, okay? And drives all.
See you guys. Bye.